I'm Rezlar.
I'm Frosty.
As nobody's really engaged quite yet.
Yep. Oh, there we have a bit of. Oh, was that a triple stun for the Mystic?
And welcome back to the Value Pack. And welcome everybody to another episode of the Value Pack. I don't think there's any announcements or any news or anything like that. Nayashe is thinking about having the Corona Cup. That's a thing that might happen. So
we talk about Spotify and iTunes. I guess get that out of the way first.
We don't have confirmation on iTunes yet, but Spotify for sure, right?
We're on fucking Spotify, dude. I did it. I finally convinced Rezlar to make me the right size artwork to submit.
that was the whole reason why it's been delayed all this time.
You realize you could have done that yourself. All I did was I put it in Paint and then just like
every time I tried to do it gave me some message.
Cheap way to do it.
Yeah, it said like this picture's not big enough to whatever. I don't know, dude. I don't know how to edit, man. I opened Microsoft Paint and the tools, I couldn't find them. All right.
Holy shit, you're such a boomer.
Dude, yeah, it's actually getting bad. As I'm getting older, I'm caring less and less on like how to do stuff. It's sad. Like, I just want to live my life. I don't want to figure this out, you know?
Yeah.
Right. Holy shit. All right, so
it's the American dream to pay someone else to do it for you.
Yeah,
dude,
exactly.
Right? All right, so Balance on Live. I'm assuming we're going to be talking about like the ninja stuff mostly.
Yeah, so Ninja Kuno.
Isn't that the big topic?
Ninja Kuno, and then at least in this community and amongst the people I know, a lot of Musas also said that their class has been gutted and they can't use it anymore. And maybe, you know, Nayashe can help us figure out if that's true. So Musas see, I've been told. Let's start with Musa real quick. Get it out of the way. Musas say now you basically can't use succession for PvE or PvP.
That's not true at all.
Don't lie, you Maywa.
This is Maywa propaganda.
So, the changes that came to our live server were not the exact same as that were on Global Labs, right? They were like changed slightly.
They were changed in KR first, and we got the KR versions.
Okay, and we got the KR version. All right, so the blue buff changed. What changed with it? How much do you know about this? Because I try not to follow Mooses because I get frustrated when I do.
Well, you always end up, chasing behind them, and they just get away.
That's true.
Right?
Or they start arrow me.
Yeah, that too. But I mean, I don't know the extreme details. Shiki told me but it's Musa things, so it kind of like went in one ear, sort of out the other. But
I know all they say is like fire.
I'm just
fire,
like, can
fire,
I still
fire.
kill you?
Our fire is not
strong.
Can
I still kill you? Yes. Okay, good. No, jokes aside, he was telling me about him. I just don't remember the exact details of how the mechanic changed, but basically you could still use your abilities just fine. You do have to change it up when it comes to PvE. The biggest impact was more or less PvE rather than PvP. But he's finding a way to make it work, and he's able to do just fine. He lost some grind speed potential, but PvP, we did some duels and whatnot. I do not see a difference. Like, honestly.
Yeah.
But there again, I still don't remember the details as to what specifically changed.
You don't have enough evasion to tell, dude. But the
way that they were planning to change it in Global Labs was that there would be a cooldown on the blue buff. They removed that. So what they did instead, I believe, is that they reduced the damage that the abilities that they use on cooldown with the blue buff do. But it's like, I mean, some of them were quote unquote hit hard, but they still do plenty of damage, so it's a non-issue. But they actually gave them Gale as a super armor all the time on the third hit, I think specifically, but it goes so fast you end up in the third hit right away anyways, and they can linger it. So they kind of gave them some more protected options for PvP as well. So that's why I'm saying basically I don't see a difference. I think ultimately they're still as strong as they were. And their PvE would be the biggest thing that was impacted.
Let me double check the blue buff thing, because I think they still. Oh, okay. No. You're right. They just they changed the duration of Serene Mind from 5 to 7 seconds, and then changed the description to be more clear. Changed the stun effect blooming. It's only on the first hit now on blooming, so that was kind of significant.
Yeah, that was one thing, but that's not too big a deal. I mean, yeah, it sucks because if you throw a blooming outward, it wasn't it was stunning multiple times basically. So their catch with that isn't as good. So I think that affects their 1vx a little bit.
Blooming split damage was removed.
Yeah, for both Musa and Mewa, all split damage for blooming, and I don't know what the other ability is for Musa, but Mewa got Ascension to Heaven split damage removed as well.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Like, I guess we'll see. I'll have to. I'm gonna keep an eye on it because I know we have a lot of Musas in the Value Pack community that say that it's dead. But of the Succession Musas I've talked to, when grinding so far, they say they can't really tell a difference, that they're still able to get in high-end spots. Like at Starzen and Secrea, they still get super high trash. It hasn't really affected them that much.
So raw drop Tungrad from Achman. What the fuck?
Wait, what? You mean Awakening?
No, Succession. That it actually hasn't made that much of a difference in the trash in Succession.
At like Secrea?
Yeah, Secrea and Starzen specifically.
Shaky noticed an initial difference what he was doing for skill rotations before at Starzen. He said he lost like around, I want to say like 500 trash per hour, but then he changed up his rotation and kind of made up for it almost all the way.
Right.
So I don't think fully, but
let's change the style a little
rotation.
bit.
It's yeah.
All right. So
basically, before he was just constantly rotating Rising Storm and Blaze, and then getting Serene Mind with some ability, and then doing it again, just constantly. It's like it's a hella boring style, I guess, but
in an attempt,
best way to do it.
In an attempt to not have another Mewa podcast, let's go over quickly the Mewa changes. So the all evasion minus 3% effect to successful hits on sticky snowflake skills. Good or bad? You like that change? Don't care?
That is good if we're just looking at that as a blanket statement. Yes.
The correct attack range of sticky snowflake skills to better match their graphical effect. So is the AoE bigger now?
Yes, it's very wide. It's a full, complete 180, and it hits very far.
Dude, thank
God.
It's
actually a really good change.
That actually drove me nuts, how big that AoE looked, but actually wasn't before. It made no sense to me.
Yeah. Well, this only affects the normal sticky snowflake, not the BSR version. So the BSR still hits the same range.
And then fix the issue of Prime. I think those are just bugs, right? And then Flow Moonlight Dash is now quick slot.
Prime. All right, so wait, your Moonlight Dash, you said?
Yeah, it says Flow Moonlight Dash is now quick slot available. Is that good or bad, or it doesn't matter?
It's weird. I guess it's good in a way. It's not what we needed. No one asked for it. They basically made Petal. They turned Moonlight Dash into Petal Bloom by making it hotbarable, and you can use it by itself. And they also made the damage match what Petal Bloom does for non-charge up. So 5 hits, and its damage percentage is the same. So they made it a better Petal Bloom without having the knockdown effect. Don't know why they did it.
Right. Okay.
It made no sense.
And then the damage, or sorry, the corrected the attack range of the following skills. So Frost Pillars when not in cooldown and Flow Tip of the Iceberg. So are those AoEs bigger or smaller now? Or have you tested them?
The range is a little bigger. It's kind of hard to notice the range difference, but I think the main thing is that it seems like the conal damage that it does is a lot more accurate. Like before, there would be like hitbox issues, and sometimes Frost Pillar Tip of the Iceberg wouldn't do anything, or like very minimal damage. But now it kind of seems like the damage is hitting a little bit better and more consistent. But it's still not amazing damage by any means. It's great as a finisher in a combo, but it's not like something you want to throw out like a Crush Crusher Foul Play at all.
All right. More changes to come. We'll talk about the global lab changes on the class in a bit. So,
Yeah, no,
so this is just live changes.
Was
So
that nice and concise?
that was nice and concise, dude. I'm proud of you.
I try.
Now, one issue I have with one thing you said. No, I'm just kidding.
There we go, and then it opens up.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
right. That's how it starts.
So we got the ninja changes. I'm gonna focus. We're just gonna focus on the nerfs to succession because these weird combos to awakening. I don't know how good they are exactly. All of these skills are basically bad, but maybe in PvE it helps. I doubt in PvP any of these. Sudden decap, flow execution, just don't do that much damage in PvE. So I don't know how much, or PvP. Anyway, so let's focus on the good stuff. Smokescreen nerf. That's on Ninja and Kuno, and whenever they use their BAMs, the evasion nerf is in effect. I actually do think it's kind of noticeable. 9%'s a lot, so it's it's actually noticeable. The PvP damage, I really think like in a combo, it's not that big a deal. The Blade Spin, Moonlight, Foxclaw, and Behead nerf, but in like node wars and stuff, when they're just doing protected skills like on your back or just randomly in like chaotic engages, I feel like they do way less damage. Like if a ninja blade spins me from the front, I feel like it. Now, granted, I'm high DP, right? But I feel like it basically does so little damage now that it's not that big a deal. They're not just going to be killing people with blade spin. Yeah,
well, that's good.
I'm not saying
honestly.
it's bad. I'm saying it's like if I'm CC'd, it does a lot of damage, and they do like a legit combo. But if they're just blade spinning on a group, I feel like it's not that bad anymore. I think the change was good on that.
That's good.
Black Moonlight. I feel like its utility it's mostly like a finisher now. I still see ninjas refloat with it, but I don't know. I have to ask like Yellow his opinion on it or someone. But I just feel like it's not the best refloat anymore anyway, because it lost its air attack damage a few patches ago. I think it's better to use something else. Foxclaw and Behead. I know beheading is one of those ones where you don't generally get the full damage anyway because you have to cancel out if you want to be safe. And then Foxclaw is just kind of a starter skill, so not that big a deal. But the movement. The movement. So alert stance.
Sure.
Alert stance on Smokescreen and Evasive Shuriken Malice has been reduced a ton. They move about 1/3 the distance they moved before this patch when using those two movement abilities. If you're super used to it, it feels weird switching. So I was messing around on Ninja yesterday on Arsha, and it does feel weird. And if you relied on it a lot, because it was a really good way to chase someone down, it was a really good way to escape, and it was a really good way to just get behind someone to try to use the CC on their back, because it would instant teleport you behind them. Now it's just kind of a little scoot, and if you overly relied on it, it's going to feel horrible. If you didn't and you get used to all the other movement options, I think it's not that bad, and it actually was a decent change for me. I know Ninja's going to be so mad at me. All of them think it's horrible, and that's what made the succession fun, but I think it's still fun even with it the way it is. Just me personally. We saw I sent you guys a GIF the other day of that ninja that said that they're in a wheelchair now or whatever. Where is that?
Yeah, the one in BA.
Yeah, here, let me pull this up. Succession Ninja post nerf is too immobile. It's literally unplayable. So I'm playing this right now. So for audio listeners, this ninja is running up with target chase to the top of BA. He's going to use his movement combo from the entrance of BA, and then he goes. He starts right at the entrance of BA where it goes from like the safe zone to the actual part where you can PvP, and he just does a movement combo. And granted, like a lot of it is unprotected, but he literally just moves around the entire battle arena with this skill rotation.
You put the link in the Discord and check it out.
Dude, it's so good. It's so good. I mean, it's actually. It's not even that fast, you know? But it's still like, in the heat of battle, it's still fast fast enough.
Yeah. Let me show this to.
No, I think it's good. I think it was a good change. Like, I don't know. It's a weird. I totally understand. Like, man, it sucks when you have something and you're used to it, and it's super fun. To lose it does suck. Like, I get that, but balance wise, I think it's fine.
They're mad because they can't outrun an arrow to the back anymore.
Yeah,
that's really it.
Dude, this guy is good.
In the back now.
I never really got good at it, but the evasive malice, like as part of the movement, like turning your camera right, I never really did that. I always use like forward evasive malice for the alert stance, but I guess it is a lot more movement if you do it sideways.
Yeah, but to suggest that this is not good movement, what was it a satire? Like, is it just sarcasm?
Yeah.
Well, that post is definitely satire. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That post is being sarcastic as fuck.
That ninja is basically looking at all the other ninjas and saying like, "What the fuck are you guys talking about? Look at what we
they're fucking whining over nothing."
And for the record, I jumped into Yellow's stream yesterday, and he had a command for it, but I'm annoying, so I just asked him anyway. I was like, "Hey, Yellow, is Succession Ninja dead?" And he was grinding Histria and just like killing it. And he was like, "I don't know, man. Does it look dead to you?" So it was like, "Yeah, okay, well, fair enough."
Yeah. No, it's not basically dead. It's just harder. It's gonna separate the good players from the bad ones, honestly.
Well, that's the thing. Like, people just want to be able to auto win, and frankly, no.
Yeah.
You need to get good with your class. Fuck you. I go back to that.
I go back to that. What was it? A South American, I think, server ninja that you linked, Nayashe. The clip where like he uses like 3 abilities and then gets upset that the person isn't dead. And it's like, dude, what? That wasn't even an actual combo.
Yeah, was it like a Spanish streamer or something like that?
I think.
Oh my god, the face was fantastic. The sheer disappointment, I could feel it and I could taste it. It was great.
That's like if I grab someone.
Wonderful tears.
That's like if I grab someone and then ancient wave them, nothing else, and then complain that they weren't dead. Like, you didn't do anything.
We have a hard and fast rule in this game too. Like, you don't get to auto win unless you're a Sork. Period.
True. He's not wrong.
Or, well, today, yeah. I would also argue there were several instances through the history of BDO that this was also true for other classes. And I know we've talked about this before, but like, you have like Warrior Awakening, right? Like, the first Awakening come out before anybody else had theirs. That was almost an auto win.
It's ridiculous. Like,
I still to this day do not understand that decision. That was the weirdest thing that they ever did.
Yeah, I mean, it's PA for you. Like, what do you expect? Some crazy decisions sometimes that come out of that office.
Then you also have Sork and Ranger that get launched like Catfish Days. Like, that was basically an auto win unless that person was just dog shit. Like, there just wasn't anything you could do about those 2 classes. You have right after Rare Bombs were released for Valkyrie, like that insane shit, like also basically an auto run. So this is just also Ninja pre-concealment blade spin nerf, I would argue, was also in that state of like, you basically just auto win.
Yeah.
So like, there's been variations of it, and it seems like right now it's just kind of Sork's time, I guess.
Did you mention the Striker one? When Striker got the first, so they got 2 sets of buffs. Yeah. Well, they got 2 sets of buffs. The first one was like, and then the second one was like, wait, what the fuck did you do to these guys?
Isn't that what's hilarious about Striker, though?
Did they ruin them or something?
No, it was like one of those like sci-fi. It was like a sci-fi original thing where they gave like a rat a chemical, and now all of a sudden it's the size of a skyscraper and just walking through the city killing everybody.
Yeah, because what a lot of people don't remember, or like if they do remember, they just like, or if they were there for it, they don't remember it. Rather, what a lot of people weren't there for was Striker on release was actually dog shit. Like it was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
They couldn't do a goddamn thing. And it was only after they buffed him, like, I think 3 weeks in a row or some shit. It was like, wait, what the fuck? These guys can't be killed.
Those clones had, like, a lot of bugs to them. They were, like, spawning literally across the fucking arena and hitting other players. This shit was hilarious back then.
Oh, dude, do you remember that weird clone bug where, like, this is gonna be so hard to describe, but there was if they were, like, kind of far from you and you saw clones, there'd be these weird stretching, like, flags that would shoot all the way to the sky.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, I forgot about
ridiculous.
That. That shit was fun.
Oh, also, the last thing that came to mind for me for auto wins, and I know there's a portion of our audience just screaming it right now. Any DK that fought against Mystic or Striker during the Magic DP period.
Oh my god, yeah, they were an auto loss.
Yeah, that was just there literally was nothing you could do whenever they had that extra Magic DP. There was just nothing a DK could do about it. It was very sad for them.
Yeah, and it's funny because they claimed that Mystic Striker was going to be the counter to Musamewa because of the mobility. They were going to be able to catch us. That was the whole like premise behind them, and that's not how that works.
I'm gonna try to find these patch notes just because I think it'd be interesting to read them now, like with the current system, how ridiculous they are. The Striker ones. Hold on, let's see. I feel like the patch must have been in either July or June.
I honestly couldn't tell you.
Of 2017, because it came out in the summer of 2017. Fuck. Oh, it's gonna be too hard to find probably. Let's see. I'm gonna try 2 more dates and see what happens.
I would be shocked if you were able to find it, dude.
Well, it would be in that time because it was only a few weeks after release, and it came out in June. So the patch would either come. I can't remember when in June. No, I don't know. Like here are some skills, but I can't tell. Like let's see. The following skills' damage range has been increased: Skull Crusher, Rampaging Predator, Infernal. Dude, I feel like it's the patch right after this. But this is July 26th. The jumping motion from Skull Crusher became quicker. Land Buster now has super armor. Flash Step, Silent Step can be used with 10 Martial Spirit Shards even during cooldown. That's funny. It didn't actually launch with that. That was after. I didn't even realize that. Bunch of damage increase. PvP damage increase. Accuracy rate increase. PvP damage of the following skills increased: Endless Fight, Hellbreak, Ultimate Crush, Skull Crusher, Spiral Cannon, Endless Explosion, Rampaging Predator, Float. Like the whole tree got buffed. Oh man,
Jesus,
it's insane.
Yeah. Ah, man,
the good old days. Wait,
it's funny to think about. Like,
wait. The Meiwa patch change in this same patch is so good. You ready? Meiwa, fix the issue that caused Meiwa's hair color to change after applying certain customizations, and fix the issue where irregularities would appear when editing face and chin part of the customization for Meiwa.
Yep. This is the kind of shit they do to us all the time. They're like, oh, you know what? Our costumes, they need fixing. They really need fixing. Class is fine.
It's so interesting to me to think about, because I've been around since launch, right? And it's so interesting to meet people who like just started playing. Like I always deem people who haven't played from launch as steamies, just because 1, a meme, and 2, like most people probably played through Steam that haven't been playing since launch. Because why wouldn't you? But it's like there are people who didn't even experience the game before the CC changes. Like,
right.
Crazy. It's crazy to think about how much this game has changed that people will never know about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's all all that's left of it is people like us to talk about it, basically.
Silent chat's coming in like, yeah, we dealt with this shit for years.
I mean, everyone deals with it, honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
a lot of
it's true.
It was pretty bad during the transition. I gotta admit.
Yeah, that the CC. I mean, yeah, it's funny because I actually have. There's kind of a lot of people like that I hang out with now that never played before the CC changes, so they have no idea.
Right, dude? Like, it's nutty. It makes me feel like a fucking like an old person. Like, like I talk about man, back in the day, like Sorkin Ranger was really OP, and people will be like, "Oh, is that like before the CC changes?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, yes, but like you way further back than that."
Well, think about
it's just crazy.
It's saying something says like bring back Mystic SA 500 HP heal tornado, please. Fuck
Dude,
no.
Release Mystic was another one. I don't think it was quite on the same level, honestly, as some of those other things that I mentioned, but I mean, it was like
Release Mystic. Shit. No, Release Mystic was nuts, dude.
As nuts as like First Awakened Warrior, like as
dude, I think so.
Valkyrie. Really? I don't think so.
Dude, you could be the whatever it was at the time, 292 DP with Muskins back when like you really didn't have much evasion. And you could like 1v20 in RBF.
Well, back then people didn't have that kind of gear.
I know, but it was fucking nuts, dude. And part of it was because when it released, like renown score became a thing. So it was
how
like
would you compare it to current Guardian?
I mean, current Guardian, at least
Guardian's not as good in 1v1, but its large scale is absolutely disgusting.
It's really good, yeah. I don't know. Fuck, I had a thought.
Like, there's a lot of classes that could beat Guardian in 1v1. It's just their large scale is where it's really at.
The pre-CC players will never understand this, or the players that didn't play pre-CC. Murderous Intent used to have protection, and it wasn't even one of their like good skills. Think about that.
Jesus.
Like, think about how good Murder Intent is right now. It used to fucking have protection, and it was like still their main catches were Katana Shower because the float and it was fast, and Blade Spin float. Like, fuck, man, it's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, but that's one of those things. Like, it's a different time. People explored different options to catch people with, and learned how to make use of those not so good skills, and made them actually pretty amazing now.
Yeah. All right.
Like an example would be like forward blind thrust for Musameo. No one really used that before.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like pre-CC changes, I don't think they even like paid much attention to what had protection or CCs. They just kind of like threw shit together.
Yeah,
and we're like, yeah, fuck it, that looks good.
Well, every class release had more like protections than the previous. Like, and it just went on and on like that. It was like every time they released a class, it was like, wait, holy shit, DK has so much protected CCs, and then Strikers release, you're like, wait, holy shit. And then Mystics release, like, okay, literally everything. Is there any openings in this class? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then Lon actually had a lot too, but it was like, because we never got it on our server with all those protections. People don't realize. And it was funny because it was still considered like not good in Korea, even though everything was protected. All right, let's talk about the Kuno changes.
Yeah, you're a Kuno now, right?
Yeah, so Tenon Cutter is the biggest one, like legitimately the biggest one. So now you can only use the teleport float on the third after the very last movement of Tenon Cutter. And it is like, it's very, very, very noticeable. I miss the old one already so much, dude. But admittedly, it was really fucking strong, like way too strong. So it's a lot easier to predict and see in time and prevent yourself from getting seed by it. Still a really good skill though. But yeah, that one makes them a lot more predictable. The other changes, the damage stuff, like these damage numbers, PvP damage reduced on Prime Flash Slash by 15%. They're like pretty minimal. Like these percentages are not that high. So my guess is, because they don't show us PvP damage reduction. If trying to give myself a number that is easy to math, but basically, let's say a skill has 50% PvP damage reduction on it, right? Like just base. That's what. Let's just pretend, for sake of argument, Flash Slash had 50% PvP damage reduction on it based on like whatever the damage numbers are. Then after this patch, reduce PvP damage by 15%. I strongly believe does not mean now it's PvP damage reduced by 65%. I think it's 15% more PvP damage reduction on that 50%. So it's only like 7% more reduction. Does that make sense? Am I explaining that properly? Because if it was like straight up, they took 15% less damage, I feel like would be really, really noticeable, and it's kind of hard to tell that it does less damage. Same with the ninja ones. Like the 23% is so high, and if it was just a flat 23% reduction, it would be like huge. But I don't think it is. I think it's 20. They increased the amount of reduction by 23%. Like of the current number that's there.
We don't know how much they're already reducing it for PvP, so that's where the main thing is. Like that percentage doesn't actually represent the true flat 20 whatever percent.
That needs to be on every skill, dude. Honestly, that needs to be revealed by us. Cacao, PA,
what,
please.
they're revealing it.
The reduction on every skill in the tooltip should say how much PvP damage.
Yeah, we
reduction
should know. There's no reason why we shouldn't know, especially because they've already shown as many stats as they can for accuracy and stuff like that. Why not just show the PvP damage reductions?
Right. And then the
I want to know if one of my skills I'm using is cucked in PvP or not, you know?
Or at least
after they update it.
Here's what I've never understood. Why is it not the other way around? Why is it not here's how much damage the skill does increased for PvE? Like that would make more sense than
I'm fine with it either way. The problem with them not showing it, my biggest thing with it is like if they showed it, then we can just run some rough numbers in our head or estimate like how much damage the skill probably does, right? Like if it's 1,000% times 5 PvP damage reduced by 50%, then we know like okay, the 1,000% by 5 and then cut that in half. We get that. That's easy to manage. But with it not being there, it makes that 1,000% times 5 number literally meaningless. It means nothing.
Right.
Because we have no idea what the hell the reduction is. So the numbers mean nothing at all. Which is so stupid, dude.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying, like, you have to go out and, like, just by test, like, figure out what does damage and what doesn't. And it's like, it would be so much better if it was the other way around, at least, because nobody is trying to min-max with, like, specific numbers on their PvE mobs. Like, nobody does that. Like, it's no, you don't. Shut the fuck up.
Dude, what do you think all 24,000 of those kills were? Those were tests. I was literally testing.
Right, dude? So, I don't know. It just would make a lot of sense to me if it was the other way around, but it just doesn't make sense the way that they have it. I've always been very confused as to why it was the way that it is.
Same. They added some awakening buffs to Kuno, for PvE mostly. They nerfed Spin Spree in PvP by 17%. I haven't gotten to test it. I haven't tried Awakening, but I am going to make it a point this week to try Awakening out in PvE to see if these changes matter. They added crit rate to Chain Crash for PvE, which should hopefully make it do a little bit more damage. And then reduce the cooldown on Lunatic Discus, and then added some flows that make some skills chain together a little bit better, which may or may not. I don't think they're actually that useful in PvP, but in PvE they definitely are. Or could be. On paper they are. We'll see. So I'll test that out. And then Striker Mystic. I just want to talk real quick. I tried Mystic Succession. So first I did a 24-hour run on Mystic. Okay. I did a node war.
He lasted 24.1 hours.
I grinded Star's End, Secrea, and Hystria, and I did a node war, and I spent like a few hours in BA, and I also grinded Polys, and I tried Succession out, and like I really just could not get into Succession. It just feels so slow because I feel like the two biggest issues are, one, because you don't have the Awakening version of Prey Hunt, so when you use Crouching Wolf, which is their spacebar skill that they can use after skills, it uses all of your shards, so you almost never have the 20% attack speed buff, or you always have the 20% attack speed buff and then never have the shards for damage on your skills, one or the other. There's no way to recover shards, which is an issue, and
yeah, I heard about that problem.
Too many of the skills leave you stationary. Like
Really?
every class has a few skills that kind of like jut you forward, which feels really nice, especially in PvE and grinding. And the Mystic has so
yeah,
many
it just gives
skills.
you that fluid kind of mobility movement, always progressing towards the next
Right.
pack.
And Mystic just feels like it has too many skills where you're just standing right exactly where you are and not moving. And it doesn't feel good at all. And they're not big AoEs either, so it's like, I don't know.
Huh.
I don't like how that shit feels.
They give 'em
Definitely
different, though,
would
right?
not like Zerker then.
Wait, what? Like Zerker, but Zerkers are like massive AoEs, or like even the axe skills where you're like slamming the ground in front of you, or like the cannon skills, like Devastation.
You're saying the Succession Mystics AoEs are smaller than that?
Dude, they're tiny.
That's
man.
really bad.
Like,
then
I'm trying to think of like,
really
imagine like like Fatal Blow on Ninja and Kuno, like where it's just like the couple hits right in front. They're like that, dude. A lot of them.
Oh Jesus
Yeah.
Christ! I thought you were talking like at least like Slugfest AoE.
No. It's like no AoE. Like there's a couple with AoE, like Roaring Tiger kinda, but it's like unchanged. Thunder Pound unchanged. I don't know. They just don't. But they all leave you kind of locked in. So I don't know. I just didn't like how it feels personally. I don't think it feels
like
good. So
Zerker, a lot of Zerker's abilities leave you locked in, but you're right in that they do have like pretty decent AoEs. I mean, not like witch sized or anything, but pretty decent nonetheless.
Yeah. I don't know. So, and then I think this goes for Striker and Mystic in PvE specifically. Like, not having Spiral Cannon or Spiral Torpedo just does not feel good. In PvE especially.
Yeah,
It's like,
I can imagine.
dude, getting to the other side of a pack while like simultaneously like doing a little bit of damage is really nice, and having to just use a dash to go to the other side where you like you halt your DPS entirely and then like dash and turn around feels gross to me when you're used to Spiral. Anyway, I switched to Mystic Awakening after a little while, and then that felt a lot better, but I hate it in Node War still. That's just
Yeah.
I thought, hey, I have evasion now. I'm 350
like
DP.
no real mobility.
Yeah, like the initial burst mobility is nice. It's true. Like Dildo, like just all of his points kind of were spot on his description of it. Dildo Dragons, where it's like without Wolf's Frenzy, you can't escape, or it's not a like the oh shit button is gone, and then you just
this is what I'm saying,
you just
Frosty.
die so fast. You know,
you just need to try out Mewa, and then you'll be in the same boat. You'll understand.
Yeah, Mewa was like mystic with unlimited movement and stamina though. And dude, and the vacuum too. Like, all right, I get the vacuum complaints in 1v1. Dude, when you use vacuum in large scale, you literally die. You just die in the vacuum.
You're literally setting yourself
crazy.
up to die.
You die. Everyone's like, oh shit, I'm being vacuumed by this Mystic. Everyone that's in it is like, throw one damage dealing ability. All right, the Mystic's dead. We good.
Well, yeah, you're not supposed to use vacuum in large scale. The fuck are you doing?
Well, that's what everyone says it's good for. It's like, well, you still have the vacuum. It's good utility.
Who is saying that?
Everyone, you need Mystics to vacuum.
You need to. You forgot the whole important context of it. You vacuum and then you V, or you vacuum. And you
I like that. That's actually good. Vacuum V. Dude.
Why aren't Mystics doing this? I feel like they are missing a grand opportunity here.
Yeah, you got a VV, dude.
Valkyrie suck is OP
I mean,
in large scale.
The vacuum, if you force your V to do the bug state where you get out in like 4 seconds, then you basically get out right before the vacuum ends. So it's like perfect. Then you're on the other side of them, and then you get their back, and it's easy mode. Done.
Yeah.
Donezo.
Dude, that
side note, Devastation should be a vacuum. Thanks.
So the
God, no, please don't.
You gotta please don't from that.
No more vacuums.
I'm just joking. For those of you who can't detect sarcasm, I'm joking.
the Valk, I don't know. I know everyone hates vacuums, but the Valk vacuum, as strong as it is, and it's the best one in the game, I think. Like, its utility is just the best, especially the fact that it's range. But it still frustrates me the least of all of them, I feel like. Because it happens so quick. Like, your vacuum, you sucked in, boom, you're there, and then you get out, you know? So you either die after it or you get out. So it's like a...
Well, there's definitely less of a feeling of frustration. It's also the fact that, like, you do have, like, whenever they cast it, you do have, like, a second to, like, react to it.
Would you at least admit this? Thematically, the Mystic Vacuum is actually like perfect. It's perfect because it's a bunch of water. You're sucked into it, and you, as a character who wants to get out, you feel like you're drowning. You start panicking. You start pressing all your movement buttons, and then eventually, because you panicked and overreacted, you drown.
Yeah, I understand that, and from that perspective, yeah, it's fine.
So it should stay. Probably get buffed. I agree. All right, so Guardian.
I think
Wait, what?
I honest to God think that they should remove all vacuums from the game and change Shy Bubble to be a vacuum, and that should be the only one in the whole game.
No.
In that case, Frosty, I say this: make the vacuum actually a damage ability where you are legitimately drowning because your HP is dropping, and then they get rid of the vacuum.
I mean, I'm totally in on that, and make it good in PvE and stuff too. Like, just make it a big AoE super armor damage dealing ability, and maybe have it like, I don't know, maybe it applies a debuff or something.
What if they changed it? What if they like removed the vacuum off of it, but they made it kind of like Aqua Gel, except for when you cast it, you don't have to sit there holding it. You can do other things. But it just like leaves it stays in that area for like a couple seconds.
That would be cool. Or make it more like Poison Pool. Like, you throw it and then you walk around and it's just sitting there doing damage.
Maybe more like Poison Pool. That way you can actually have a big damage ability sitting right there in that spot, like a zoning tool, you know?
Yeah, I like that idea too.
But Poison Pool, like, all Poison Pool really does is it reduce resistances, right? It doesn't actually do damage, I don't think.
No. What it does, it pings you, and then it well, it's not resistances. It reduces your magic DR. So it's a DP. It's a DP shred to your magic.
But it does have, like, sitting in it does damage, and it applies the damage over time. So it's still like, the idea of it's pretty cool. It still like has use. Also, it's a kill stealing machine, dude. Randomly, it is, dude. You randomly get the last hit on those bleeds, dude.
Dude, I will never understand. You want to know what the mark of a good witch wizard is? How often they use retardando in a 1v1. That shit is fucking busted. And if you're not using it, then you're just bad.
Yep. I feel like every witch uses it in a like, every good witch uses it in a combo, even if they think they're gonna kill you, just in the off chance you get out and now you're fucking molasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Mystic and Striker Suck definitely need some changes. I'm sorry, for both classes, Rage Hammer needs to still have Bound. Why would you make the Succession version of a skill worse than the Pre-Awaken version is actually the most insane thing in the whole world. It just doesn't make sense. It makes no sense.
Defines all.
You should never, ever, like, on a Succession tree, be like, no, you keep the Pre-Awakening one because it's better. Like, it just is insane. And
well, that's like Succession Warriors, because they took away the bound on fucking Ground Smash. You're like, well, okay, fuck it, we'll just go ahead and get the absolute instead.
Right.
They should make it so that you they should I mean, I hate to say this because I know a lot of people would probably complain about this, but not really allowing you to pick and choose which ones you want from the main versus Succession. If you
right, like, it's just part of the kit.
But there again, I would be hitting my own self too, because Divider is used for chase cancel for Tiger Blade. So,
dude, I mean, it's just oh my god, it's so weird to me. And the thing that makes it worse on Mystic specifically is that the animation of the Succession one is so fucking cool, but you can't use it because it's so bad. Without the bound, it makes no sense. I would even understand, kinda. I would totally understand if they removed the bound on it, if it was like an instant cast ability, but it's a really slow hit that really doesn't even do that much damage, and it has no bound. It's like, why? So weird. Anyway, I think that's it for the live changes. That went longer than I thought. I apologize. This is supposed to be a 45-minute episode. I don't know what happened.
Is it? This is news to me.
Yikes. Every time I say I'm going to do a quick guide and I put in the title description, it's going to be a quick guide. It's always like 30 minutes, 40 minutes long.
Yeah.
And I always get comments on my videos, quick, quote unquote.
Dude, a couple months back, I told myself I was going to make like a simple guide for just like the basics on Zerker, because a lot of people, there's not a lot of resources out there. And I recorded something and it ended up being like 30 minutes. I was like, oh, fuck this. Like, oh, no.
Okay, so let's go over to Global Lab. Let's start with Sork first. So this is one I need to see somebody test this for sure, but it looks like the way Crowflare now. All right, so the way Crowflare works currently in live, whenever they use Crowflare, it's a frontal guard damage dealing ability that when their frontal guard is hit in succession, the succession Sork, they instantly recover 30 dark shards. And that's beneficial because they have a skill called Crow Food, where when they're completely out of stamina, when they try to iframe, it'll instead use 10 of their 30 shards to iframe. So if they're out of shards and stamina, then they can't iframe anymore, period. So what succession Sorks rely on is pressing E for Crowflare to get their 30 shards back when they're out of stamina, so that way they can kind of keep their movement up, because they don't have S block or Karshian's protection where you can just sit kind of in block to recover stamina. So that's kind of how they deal with it. So they're changing that. It no longer recovers 30 shards on successful defense and instead recovers 5 shards when you use the ability, which is
interesting.
A pretty serious nerf to succession Sork mobility. Granted, it's a short cooldown, so they basically will get 5 shards back every 2 seconds. And they added shard recovery on a couple abilities, 2 of them in Awakening specifically, and 1 on the Rabam skill, Engulfing Shadow. So they'll have another option, Engulfing Shadow's 7-second cooldown super armor that just like does damage. Will now have will recover shards. And then Crowflare, whether you hit a target or not, or get hit or not, you recover 5. So we'll see. I think overall it's a nerf though. Awakening, they'll also
sounds like a nerf.
Yeah, Awakening will also get the shard recovery on Engulfing Shadow, Blades of Darkness, and Dead Hunt, which is actually kind of insane because it's gonna buff their combos a lot. Because now they could like absorb their shards more regularly and do a combo with Shard Explosion and still like really, even if they do like a violation to refloat Dead Hunt into like Engulfing, they're immediately gonna have their 30 shards back and be able to use Shard Explosion for evasion targets. So it's actually a buff to Awaken Sorks, like a small buff, but a buff, which is funny considering the community's feeling on Awakening Sork. So yeah, there's that. So that's Sork. Congratulations, Awakened Sork. You stuck it out and you're getting rewarded for it. Succession Sorks get fucked. Samurai.
That's just one way to put it.
I don't know why they change every week. Google Translate changes this. It's either some weeks it says warrior for Musa, some weeks it says samurai.
Yeah, I don't know why that either.
All right, so the critical hit that's PvE only on Crust Crusher in Awakening is now applied to PvP as well. I'm not going to pretend I know what these translations are. Like, I don't know what Yang Jin are. But the other buffs, as far as I know, the cooldown for Crust Crusher has been reduced by 3 seconds. They also made it so the animation is faster. The speed of the animation is faster, and people are saying it's about 20 to 30% faster animation on the start of Crust Crusher. They removed the split damage from it says from key or certain abilities, but it sounds like it's like most of the important abilities. Split damage is being removed.
Yeah, we don't have a clear understanding of what that really means yet, but it sounds like I mean, they already just did blooming for both Moose and Mewa, so the only thing left, I assume, is all the other AoE abilities and maybe even poke skills. I don't know. Like, there's no clarity on it.
And then they changed the what's the name of the skill? The awakening skill. They changed it from a stiffness to a floating.
Twister.
So now they'll actually have the two mooses that I was talking about. This are really excited because they'll have a reliable refloat if they want to stay in awakening. So they can, I don't know, blow the belt twice and still like get the floating off in time without having to C-swap, which is kind of nice.
That's some awakening had a problem with. Succession actually has a problem with floating too, I think. Like after they do Gale, I believe it's Gale that does the floating. After they do one of their floating abilities, they're pretty much out. They have nothing.
What do you mean? Just grab them again.
No, I love this translation. This translation in there, because they like to put, which I actually like. I like that they do this. They put their little description of why they're making some of these changes.
Yeah, it gives you perspective on their thought process and whether or not they're fucking crazy or not.
Now, I love this translation because it says, among the opinions of samurai adventurers, which I think it's fair to say most mooses IRL are samurais, it was the request... It was the request for improvement of the awakening technique that was not used well and the unfortunate damage. Now, I just want to do a quick poll in just this Discord. Just us guys. Just me, Reslar, and Mewa. What?
I don't even get a name. I get Mewa.
What have you guys felt for we'll just say like the last year that awakening Musa has quote unquote unfortunate damage?
At endgame, I've heard this from a lot of mooses that at endgame they do struggle with some of their damage, but this was not the target of what they were concerned about. They have struggle with evasion targets. They don't have very good accuracy. That's what I have heard.
Thank you, Mewa. Reslar?
What was the question?
Have you felt in the last years your perspective on Musa and their damage and awakening that they have quote unfortunate damage?
Like bad damage? No.
That's the translation is unfortunate damage. All right.
Well, if I assume that means bad damage, then no. I mean, I get blown up by kids one way or the other, so what do I know?
So here's the funny thing to me. Now, I like the speed increase because if you see a Musa, when I'm fighting against a Musa, if I see them start Crust Crusher, it's almost always an auto win if I see it in time. Because I know where the opening is, and I know that their sides and background protected. So the speed increase is really cool. The PvP crit damage, I think, is okay. But I do find it funny, to me personally, and the cooldown reduction. But I find it funny that to help their PvP damage, they're buffing the one skill that does damage.
Right. That's what I was going to point out, actually.
I mean, it's fine. It'll be good though. Now, my
question is imagine if one day they were like, "Hey, we doubled the damage and animation speed on Ancient Wave, so Zerker has more damage."
Yeah.
Like, wait, like that's not the thing I would have chosen, but I mean, okay.
So I would say that Crush Crusher does hit hard typically, but it was mostly foul play that did most of the damage, though, right? At least that's from my experience.
But it's still Crush Crusher still hit pretty hard. I mean,
it's fair.
Butt Cruster hit pretty hard, and Butt Cruster was also the CC for foul play.
Butt Cruster. Right.
So I mean, I think the change overall is good. It'll make fighting Musas a lot more difficult. Hopefully, it'll make Musas more aggressive. Is my pray to God. Because Musas right now are like really just run and shoot.
Super passive.
So I'm hoping that it makes them a little bit more aggressive now that they have the skill that they're gonna probably find a lot more success with. Because against lower skilled players that find themselves unprotected quite often, this is gonna catch so many people. They also made it so it has a vacuum in PvE, like a little bit of vacuum against small mobs.
Yeah. So that'll be good for their awakening grind.
Yeah.
They'll be amazing at Mansions if they weren't already.
Yeah, aren't they already the #1 grinder at Mansions?
basically. That's why I find it funny.
And then for the
you can't really vacuum any mobs besides like Manshums.
I know at high
as
end
far as
spots.
relevant spots.
I know it's kind
Yeah.
of funny. So for both Samurai and Plum, they have the patch note that all damage dispersion effects, which is the split damage, that were unnecessarily applied in Awakening, Succession, and main weapon technologies have been removed.
Yep.
So I don't know if that means every single skill, because they put the little qualifier that says that were unnecessarily applied. So there's probably some skills that still have it, but it seems like if you're fighting multiple people, you're gonna do more damage generally going forward.
Yeah,
so that's cool.
I don't know what it really means. It's hard for me to say, but I mean, I would think about it this way. Would you think it's OP for a poke skill? Yes. Would you think it's okay or OP for a poke skill like say Stigma that has a fair reach, but it only typically hits like one person to do split damage? Or would you say that it's arguably okay for it to actually do no split damage and actually just do its direct damage to each player it hits?
How much damage on a single target? How much damage does Stigma do? Like let's say I'm
Succession
3
Stigma a lot.
Okay, let's just say, well, we'll say for the sake of example, Succession Stigma, and I'm 324 DP on a wizard or a witch, and you hit me with Stigma. How much my HP is dropping?
20 to 30%, depending on what was the DP again?
324, and I have mana shield up.
324, 20-30% of your HP will be dropped from one Stigma to the back.
To the back, yeah. Then to me, that's not that bad. I think that's fine, even with split damage, or like remove split damage.
If I line you up with another player and I hit both of you with it, I feel like I should not have split damage on that. I should be rewarded for that.
I agree. If you're hitting me and another player in the back, we deserve to get fucked.
Yeah.
So all right, the other
this is where it kind of gets scary though. It's like, is this mean like Red Moon has split damage right now, and then if they remove it, what's that going to do? That starts getting interesting.
But it's still a question of like, if the individual player, it kind of puts the onus on the individual player a little bit. Here I think split damage makes the most sense on ranged abilities where you're going to get hit by it no matter what, especially in the heat of battle, in like a node war or whatever. But like, if me and another player are going to get hit by Red Moon, if I have like at least comparable gear to you and I'm facing you and actually defending myself properly, even without split damage, it's not going to kill me. But if I fuck up and it hits the side and it CCs me and floats me or just hits me in the back, I don't know. Then in that case, like I feel like you were able to get to my back and you deserve to do the damage. That's how I feel anyway.
I think that's fair assessment. Then that's how I kind of feel too. But there again, I never knew that some of my skills did split damage anyways. So this is like a surprise.
I think a lot of melee players don't know that they do split damage, and I think part of that is because the big ranger propaganda.
I wonder if Succession Warrior does as much. I wonder if Succession Warrior does as much damage as it does in PvE because it doesn't have split damage.
Maybe, but big ranger propaganda will have everyone convinced that only their skills have split damage. So, dude, you want to see split damage? Like, look at fucking Sea Burial does nothing in a group, dude. Literally does zero damage. Well, like
Shotgun, a ranger the other day was saying, remove split damage from Shotgun.
Like, dude, people would die so fast. Like, they don't understand.
No.
So, yeah, split damage on some melee abilities probably need to be reduced a little bit. I
wonder if split damage is on Q buff.
Me too. I actually do think it is, because when people Q buff me, if they're targeting me, I die pretty quick. I feel like if me and a bunch of people are getting hit, I feel like we're not all dying to just Q buff.
Yeah.
It's like last hitting people, so your kill feed is big, but it's not like 100 to zeroing a group.
Chunking you, yeah. Because if it doesn't have split damage, that might be a good fix for it, honestly. Would just be giving it split damage. But I think you're right. I think it does, but I just don't know for sure.
Yeah, and the other problem with split damage, that's another thing that like that shit needs to be in the tooltip.
I think that's kind of why melee classes in general are just so fucked in large scale right now, though, We always feel like we don't do enough in comparison to the AoE classes.
Well, it's like a catch-22, right? Because we also feel like as melee classes we're dying too fast. So it's like such a weird, dude. But they need to put on top of the PvP damage reduction, they need to put what the split damage is on every fucking tooltip. I know that might be a lot of work, but every skill we should know what the split damage is.
And the indicator saying it's split in PvP,
right?
You know, or PvE and PvP.
They need to show us everything. Like
show us everything.
I do not understand this desire to keep things hidden from a player base that min-maxes everything to the fucking max.
Well, because originally BDO was designed with the premise that you were not going to know those kinds of details. You had to figure it out your damn self.
It was originally designed with the idea that there's no such thing as like a best in slot, but the fact of the matter is that there is. Like, players are determined to figure out what's best, and they will figure out what's best. It's just how much of a pain in the ass do you want it to be? Because if you make it a pain in the ass, then they're going to bitch about it, and they're not going to like you for it.
Yeah. Well, now we know all that shit except for the split damage stuff. So finding out that the split damage is being removed is pretty pog. I need to test it in the global lab, but I don't know. I don't feel like it's worth testing in global lab. I just want to wait till it kind of comes to retail and then find out from there.
Yeah.
Is this going to affect other classes? Is what I'm interested in.
I wonder if this is going to be their move for large scale to help kind of balance.
Yeah, like classes. Are we gonna see them do this on a lot of other classes as well? Like,
oh god, please not. If Suck Lawn has split damage as it currently stands, please God don't.
Oh god, here we go, dude. Here, the other thing too is like I wonder how much of this was motivated by the fact that now in large scale everyone has 5,000 more HP, and maybe like a couple of these classes weren't doing enough damage because of it.
Yeah, a lot of my buddies like Scarletta and Ghost, they're saying that the 500 HP really fucked them for flanking. I mean, they can still do well, but they really feel it.
Yeah. All right, let's get through these other Mewa changes, then I gotta refill my drink. I'm drinking early today to deal with Mewa complaints.
Yeah, dude, it's like noon your time. What the fuck are you doing?
It's 1 o'clock, all right, and it's Sunday, and I gotta get rid of the Sunday blues, you know?
Jesus.
It's the only way. Gotta drink them away.
Like an alcoholic Frosty.
Me and my dad were talking about it the other day. That we were like, dude, if we think coronavirus is hitting like our town, we have so much alcohol, dude. It's easy. Like we have nothing to worry about. We have enough alcohol to keep this house safe.
They say if you do have a friend or whatever with coronavirus, you can actually help reduce some of the symptoms or cure it entirely by peeing on them. It's like a jellyfish sting.
Yeah,
what?
Sorry, so let's talk about the Mewa.
You can also fart in their pillow as well. That would also really help their symptoms.
Okay, so red sword buff. Give a brief but comprehensive description on the change here with the red moon buff or the red sword buff.
I will do my best.
All right.
All right. So
Eli 5. Explain to me like I'm 5. How did red sword buff work and what changed?
Red sword buff, as it currently stands, you use decapitation 3 times, which is an unprotected skill and it's very awkward to do, in order to gain red blade state. It gives you a stack that is color coded based on blue, yellow, and then red. And then when you're in red blade state. This alters your abilities to do Tiger Blade type abilities. So the animations are different, the way they function is different, blah, blah, blah. What this change does is it actually gives us some options, and the way we activate is a little different. Well, maybe not activating Red Blade, but the way we can choose to activate is a little. So instead of using decapitation 3 times in order to get the stacks, you actually can get stacks from just chasing around off cooldown chase. So every 3 seconds, you can gain a new stack just for chasing around, which is something we do all the time anyways. So you will basically almost always be at yellow state. And on top of that, off cooldown chase will refresh it at yellow state and basically refresh the duration of the buff, because the buff lasts 12 seconds and you have to do it again. Otherwise, you lose your yellow state.
Right.
So there's that part. Now, when we're actually wanting to use it, all we have to do is decapitation once. So we could arguably do that in a combo, no big deal, and we enter red buff state, which then we can use our altered abilities to continue the combo or move on to the next target to kill, which is good. The other major aspect of it is now you can actually absorb the stacks for using different abilities, like Divider. When it's at blue state, you can absorb the stack and gain a 5% accuracy buff for 10 seconds. Or you can absorb a level 2 or yellow stack to gain with D-Bite to gain a 10 AP for 10 seconds buff, which in 1v1 we do all the time. So for 1v1, that's really good because it gives a little bit more AP. And the AP does stack with Z buff and add-ons. So you can get, like, for example, with Z buff and Red Moon add-on, which is 15 AP, 55 AP, essentially.
And what are kind of the implications? Does this benefit you obviously in PvP, because now it's just way easier to get, and decapitation can be kind of slow, especially if you're spamming it over and over. But in PvE, does this affect PvE at all?
It means we can go straight into red blade state very quickly. So from a PvE perspective, I think it's going to have some profound impacts on our speed, because all the abilities from red blade are what we use essentially in succession to burst down our mobs, our pack of mobs. So being able to enter that state like on demand really quickly is really good. The biggest problem we'll have is grouping the mobs quickly.
Right.
So yeah, I mean it's a really amazing change. It's a lot better than what I actually suggested originally that they do. So they listened to the feedback from the players and they gave us something really useful, and we can choose when we want to enter it. If you don't want to enter it, absorb the stack with either Divider or D-Bite. There you go.
Right.
So it's really good.
Cool. Positive change. And then was there anything else with the Meiwa changes on Global Labs? Or just Red Sword?
No, that was pretty much it. Yeah, and then the split damage. But
right.
So hopefully next week we see Awakening changes, because Awakening is really hurting for some changes, and stamina for Succession. Please God.
Oh no, not the stamina thing. So all right, so overall positive. Like hard to complain about if you're a Succession Meiwa, these changes. I imagine.
Wait, what? What was that again?
I said overall positive changes. Hard to complain about if you're a Succession Meiwa.
Correct.
Okay.
It's a step in the right direction for sure. One of the top complaints, not the top, but one of. Okay,
cool. It looks like there wasn't really too much. There's nothing else really balance wise. Just random bug fixes or whatever. I'm expecting. I was talking to CP. He thinks that there's going to be more striker changes next week. To Succession, and then hopefully we keep seeing more Awakening changes for every class, because there are a list of classes that really need Awakening buffs at the very least for PvE, like Striker and Ninja. Maybe even Kuno could use a little bit more. I have to test the ones we got, but I have a feeling it's not going to make it on par with Succession PvE. So yeah, a lot of classes. There's just some.
What's Kuno need
for Awakening?
Oh, Awakening.
Or yeah, I was just saying for Awakening, I think it needs some PvE. I mean, Succession too. I feel like, man, if they just made Moonlight flow with Foxclaw the way the Ninja one does in Succession, would feel really good. And maybe reduce the cooldown on Shackles and or Moonlight. But outside of that,
yeah,
like, because those skills aren't even like really OP or strong. They would just be really nice for PvE for a little bit more filler. And then Awakening Kuno though is, I don't know, man. Outside of spin, it just feels like that kit does no damage in PvE at high-end spots.
Yeah, I could see that.
But same thing with Ninja, dude. Like Ninja, it's so crazy because Serpent Ascension, you use it on a player and you're like, damn, like that shit hits so hard. And then you use it on a pack of mobs and you're like, all right, wait, this didn't do shit.
Off the side note, tangent. Nayashe, you do realize that when people type in gear, you have both Streamlabs and Nightbot linking them shit, right?
Oh yeah, I do actually. Good point.
And it takes up like half of your chat.
I'm working up my chat count, dude. That's all. No big deal.
Professional streamer here, guys.
No, I actually had that disabled before, but when I reformatted my computer and reinstalled OBS, none of the preferences were adjusted. I need to go back in and fix that.
Okay, finishing off with these patch notes, the only other thing super notable is, well, there's two things. The price of some of these pen accessories are going to go up, which sucks and made me start buying Kaffir stones again. I was not buying Kaffir stones because the price went up so much, but now I'm buying them because these prices are going to be out of reach. I was going to try to save up for Pen Ogre. Got to about 10 bill, and then they're sitting at 62 bill, and there's like 4 orders, but they're changing the upper price range on the market for Ogre and Latent Power Stone by 30%, so it's going to be 80 bill. And I'm just
Jesus.
Yeah, which I think will it'll probably motivate more people to go for Pen to make that sale, but at the same time, it's going to be just, I don't know if I can justify it. With 80 bill, I can get 5 or 6 AP just from Kaffir stones in my weapons, you know? So I can't really justify it. And then they're gonna buff the pen cost of Eye of the Ruins and Ring of the Crescent Guardian also by 20% at the max price. And Eye of the Ruins is already, I think it's already pretty expensive. So this is for pen only. But yeah, pen Eye right now is 49.2 bill. It's gonna go up 20%. So it'll be like 59 bill, and then Crescent. Ring of Crescent Guardian is gonna go up to it's from 32. Oh my god, dude, there's 10 pre-orders for Ring of Crescent Guardian at 32.7 bill. So that's gonna go up to like 41 bill or whatever. So that'll be interesting. I mean, it'll probably help with there being more demand or more people listing them. But yeah. That's a lot of money. I don't know what I'm gonna do, man. What do I fucking get? The problem is that going for pen on an accessory is so daunting, and I don't have a stack remotely close to what a pen accessory stack would be. So I'm just like, dude, the only way to get it is to buy it. And they're not for sale. Or the money is just so much. I don't know. That part sucks. Okay, they also changed a couple of items. Let's find this. Is it in the Global Lab or on KR? I can't remember. I think just KR got it. Yeah, so let me go pull up the KR notes real quick so I have this right. But they changed the accuracy accessories that are on Global Lab. So this is what I'm saying, man. This trend of slowly nerfing evasion on classes or the evasion buffs on classes, they're adding easier ways to get accuracy, i.e. the Awakening. I know it's minor, but they're starting to add up. But the Awakening buff to Meiwa, for example, that 3% evasion debuff, little things like that.
The debuff is nice to help out with the rest of the combo.
Yeah, but, and then
they still need more to do for sure.
Yeah. I just mean against evasion in general, and then they buffed the new accuracy accessories that drop in Odolita and the Dawning Earring. So the Dawning Earring, fuck, I don't have a picture of it right now, but I believe the Dawning Earring at Pen has the same accuracy as a Pen RCE, 34, and now a Pen Dawning Earring has 38 accuracy at Pen. So it actually has more than a Pen RCE at Pen, and more AP. So it's 14 AP and 38 accuracy. And then the Tauros belt, or the Turos belt, however you pronounce it, before at Tet, so they changed it kind of going all the way up. its base AP is now 7, and it goes up 2 every level, whereas before it was 2 and went up 3 every level. So now what happens is at try and tet, it's better. So before at try, it was 11 AP, 20 accuracy. Now it's 13 AP, 26 accuracy. At tet, it was 14 AP, 24 accuracy. Now at tet, it's 15 AP and 30 accuracy. And then at pen, it's still 17 AP, but it has 34 accuracy at pen now instead of 28. Which I want that belt so badly, dude. That's my belt. That's my belt of the future.
Someone in Chad,
Mm-hmm.
he brings up a good point. He says going for pen on accessories wouldn't suck if they didn't blow the fuck up. And I think actually I think blowing up accessories is okay. I'm not gonna say fine or good, but okay. But the bigger thing for me is you still get one fucking fail stack, even if you're losing like 60 fucking billion silver or some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like that's the worst part in my mind. If I went for Pin Ogre and failed and got like 50 fail stacks, I'd be like, well, you know what, at least I got 50 fail stacks, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the point's taken. I don't know. 50 is a little crazy, but I agree. Right now they just have their like set system, and I think they need to just itemize it based on the value and use of actual items.
Dude, like this system, dude, like I just can't, I can't fathom it. This system of one fucking fail stack for failing an accessory might have made sense whenever like the craziest shit people were going for was like try ogre. But like not now. It does not make any sense in like BDO today. I just can't fathom it.
What specifically?
Yeah. Just the amount of stacks you get.
Getting one fail stack for blowing up fucking accessories that can cost billions of silver.
The accessories should definitely scale with the level at the minimum.
At least the level that, because I totally understand, like, if they don't want you getting whatever it would be, 5, 6, 10, whatever they'd end up deciding, fail stacks for failing a pen like Ronaros ring, because it just doesn't have the same value, or whatever, or Kadra ring, or some shitty ring. I get that, but just make it based on the item then. Like, make every item say when failing how many stacks you get.
I've always said make it based off the fucking market, dude. Like, how much money am I losing if I fail this? That's the amount of corresponding fail stacks that I should receive.
Maybe every 5 billion it gives an additional stack.
I don't know.
Like
I think
every
like
2 billion.
It needs to be. I think it just needs to be itemized, because the problem is like the whole community is going to try to find ways to exploit it to get easy stacks, right? So that, you know, whatever it ends up being, it should reward you a little bit more for the fails, so it feels like you're making progress. Because as shitty as failing like a pen weapon or armor is, or Black Star,
at least
like
you
getting
get fucking stacks to help.
Yeah, you get those 6 stacks. Like after 10 fails, you
have 60 stacks. Also, you don't lose the goddamn item. Is the other key to that puzzle.
Right. I mean,
Silent Chad was saying 1, 2, 4, 8, 16.
That wouldn't be bad, but I feel like it'd need to be different scales. Like that would make sense on like distortion earrings and maybe the new accuracy accessories and like a Tungrad neck and a Tungrad belt. But then like that wouldn't make the same amount of sense on like a crescent ring. You know, it might need to be less on a crescent or something. I don't think it'd be that hard
like
to do.
if that was the system, I can already tell you, dude, people are gonna be going for some pen earrings, dude.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. If this is color based or whatever, then it would be fucked. But the other thing too is like if it gave more stacks, I think more people would go for it, and there'd be more listed too. So it'd just be better in general.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I like, what are the downsides, or what is the upside to having it both blow up and only give one fail stack? Like, explain to me. I cannot comprehend this.
No, the only thing I think of is just the shitty like blue or green accessories. That's it. Those would be too easy to get stacks. But outside of that, just make those ones not give them. I don't know. Yeah, they need to change it. I agree. It should be less shitty. Okay, so yeah, the accuracy changes. Those accessories got a little bit better, so that's good. The other thing is now Garmoth drop rate doubled, not because of an event. It just is double
from 0.00001 to 0.00002. Very nice.
Hey, that means twice as many will be listed, which is good because we're gonna literally need twice as many of them in our gear because of the awakening shit. So, yeah.
I wonder how long it took them to do the math on that.
4 years, if you must know. Yeah, so that part's kind of good. I have a question.
Was it ever figured out, by the way, if that thing was a bug, or you could put the offhands into the awakening or whatever?
I'm pretty sure it is. I'm not 100%, but I'm like 90% sure you can only put versatile crystals and awakening weapon crystals, which is just a new category, of which there are only 2, the PvE and the PvP one. So you either put the accuracy / human damage one in there, or you can put Whooms or whatever versatile ones, like Awakened Spirit or whatever. So it's really up to you.
Awakened Spirits aren't versatile, are they?
Oh no, you're right. Those are offhand ones. Yeah, no, you're right. I don't know why I said that. What are the other versatile?
You can get +1 luck in your dandy.
+2 luck, can't you? If you get the high end one. If you really are a baller.
Yeah, is there a +2 luck one?
I thought there was.
Today I learned. I have +5 luck just base, so I don't know.
After I kill this pack, I'll look at the versatile section. I'm pretty sure.
I think most people have +5 luck just like normally these days.
Yeah, no, because you probably have like a pet that has it. I think we get one
fairy underwear.
Oh yeah, fairy underwear. And then I think family fame. Like when you level up your family fame or whatever, you get 2 luck.
Oh yeah, that gives it 2, doesn't it? Yeah. Dude, I remember back in the day when people actually used luck crystals because you were like, you want 5 luck so that you can succeed on your enchants.
Yeah, they would pump it up with elixirs and everything.
Yeah.
They were magic find buffs, dude, like from Diablo.
Again, shit that people who like just started playing a couple months ago will never understand. Like they look at luck crystals and they're like, wait, why does that exist? That doesn't even make any sense.
Okay, so
it's like, dude, that's a relic of the past.
Versatile, you can use Gervish, Makalod, Whom. You can use the armor crystals, which are just like +1. Carnage. Let's see if any of these are good. The luck. Yeah, that's it. So I think the only ones you'd really consider using are the new Awakening, Whom, or Makalod. I guess you could find a way to do 4 Whom and 4 Makalod now.
You just gonna leave Gervish out of that group, brother?
Well, that's like a life skill one. If you're a life skill, yeah, it's another slot for your life skill, right? Adds more weight in combat and skill EXP.
What does Gervish do again? I don't even remember.
It gives each one gives +1 crit, +1 move speed, +75 LT, and then the 4 set effect is another crit, another move speed, 5% combat EXP, 3% skill EXP, and 75 more weight. It's just for weight, basically.
Oh, so it kind of sounds like they wanted it to be like a grinding one.
Except that it
gives like combat and skill EXP and weight and shit.
I think it's for processing, dude. You use them if you're a processor. But you could find a way to get the Macallid crystals, because what is the base? What does a Han Macallid give?
I can't remember.
Combat EXP, ignore all, resist 1%, and max stamina +20. So you could do the 2 set effect if you put them in, gives you an additional 100 stamina, 4 accuracy, and 5 AP. And then the 4 set's another 5 AP, another 100 stamina, another 4 accuracy. If you could find a way to do 4 Whoms and 4 Macallid, might be interesting. I don't know if it's viable, but it's
interesting. Macallids? I'd say
Makalod, Macallid. I don't know what the fuck to say, dude.
Yeah, you had me confused.
We'll just call
the
it
Max. The Max, I know.
Han Mac crystals, dude.
If you don't have Garmoth, I would argue that would actually might be pretty good. Is to do Awakening Weapon in chest.
Well, the other thing too is these ones will add Ignore All Resist 3% for the 4 crystal. So like every little bit of that, where people don't fucking resist your combo, will be nice. Not bitter about
How
that.
often does that happen though? Like it doesn't happen that often to me.
No, but on trial characters happens always, dude.
Oh yeah, on trial characters, yeah.
Oh yeah, Vel in 30 minutes. Announcements.
Yeah, I'm heading there now.
Do I need 2 Vels?
Dude,
No,
you
well,
need as
yes.
many Vels and Garmoths as possible. Become the Vel Whisperer, like I am the Garmoth Whisperer.
You don't need 2 Vels, but you do need a Con Crystal to upgrade your Vel one day.
That's true.
Dude, like pretty much everybody has stopped doing those for the most part.
Yeah, they need to change Con. I think Con needs to be like a group thing. Like you go with a platoon of 20 and that's it. Or like just give it. The problem is if you don't get a Con's Heart, you basically get nothing.
Yeah, it's just a waste of time.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of different crystal slot things you could do with that. That kind of opens up some options, having 2 more slots for whom's. Because right now, like I'm supposed to be using special attack evasion in my chest, but I want to use the corrupted in my offhand, so I can't use special attack evasion in my chest. So I'd be able to move the 2 whom's from my chest to my dandy, and then use special attack evasion.
Wait, don't you have Garmoth?
Yeah.
Why are you not using special attack evasion?
Well, because I need corrupted crystal in my offhand.
Well,
So
what?
because I'm evasion build, I have to have my helmet is with evasion crystals, right? So I can't put it there. My main hand, you need precisions or Elcar, so I can't put it there.
I can almost guarantee you would get more defenses out of having special attack evasion than the 2 evasion crystals in your hand.
Wait, what?
No, I mean you literally missing an entire hit versus like reducing the damage. It just depends, I guess. I don't know.
Dude, you do not realize how much special attack evasion results in reduced damage.
I have a Garmoth in 2 in chest. The 30% is pretty huge.
Yeah, it's huge, but I tried it with it and I like could not tell a difference, so I switched back. I tried it. The problem is like, but the thing is, once we have it in the, once I can put whom's in my awakening weapon, then I'll have special attack. It'll be fine. I don't know. I feel fairly tanky anyway. Dude, the other problem I have is like, just on principle, those blue crystals, dude. They need to make a yellow one that gives me like HP also or something, so I feel less bad about it.
Dude, so I
don't
used
look
to
like
think,
such a Pepega with them.
I used to think like whatever on special attack evasion. Like, yeah, it's best in slot, but it's a lot just like min-maxing. Like, you won't really notice a difference. Until one day, a person in Clash needed to run damage tests. And so me and another Zerker, Gumby, we were letting him hit us in the back with some abilities. And I was taking probably like 25% less damage than he was, even though he had like 2 brackets of DP on me. Yeah. I was like, wait, what the fuck? I was like, do you have Garmoth and special attack evasion? He's like, no. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, no, it definitely makes a difference. I just, right now, it's not really the debate for me is not between the evasion on the helmet and the and the special attack. It's more like the corrupted crystals in the offhand and the special attack. The reason why is because since I use Kudum for PvE and PvP, I don't have the separate set of crystals for each setup. You know, that's kind of the issue. So,
dude, I fucking lost my corrupteds. I got fucking griefed at Polly's when I was trying to do my shit. I was like, what the fuck?
Not to jump off the BDO topic, but it looks like President Trump tested negative.
That's good.
That's so random.
It was random. I don't know. It just popped up on my my phone feed. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh no, dude. I say we quarantine him anyway.
This dude. Fucking this goddamn lawn is grinding polys in my rotation. I mean, they were there first, but it's my rotation. So I just walk up there and then I kill him real quick, go on about my day. They fairy tier, use some sort of tier, get back up, immediately start walking towards me again. I'm like, all right, here we go. Kill them again really quick, almost instantly. They do this like 10 times in a row. I'm like, dude, what is this kid like doing? This is like stupid. But whatever, they're so low geared, it doesn't even really matter. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, they disappear for like 2 minutes. I'm getting ass blasted from barely out of render range from this like 280 something archer. I'm like, whoa, what the hell is this? It was the dude. I guess it was his main. His lawn's just an alt or something. He literally got me like negative mil and then came back on his main to kill me and make me lose crystals. I was like, you're a fucking scumbag, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, that's rough, dude.
That was the guild I asked you to deck on, Frosty, that they were undeckable.
Standard. I hate that shit, dude. They need to change that too.
I know. It's like so annoying. Like literally the only reason that person can even play the game today is by abusing the fucking system. It's so aggravating. How about you just have some fucking decency and when you get out fucking killed, you just leave, dude. It's not that hard.
Just farm them with the mobs. No big deal.
Dude,
I did. That's why I went negative 1 mil.
Poly's especially bad, dude. Poly's like really bad. People just pretend there's no one else there even though they see you.
Yeah. Well, Poly's is also a really bad place because it's like it's a really good low gear grinding spot, but it's also the best place in the game for SP, which means you're also going to have high gear players grinding there.
Yeah.
Is kind of the struggle, honestly.
They just need to make the crescent, the shitty crescent spot that gives you skill EXP, they need to make that just drop trash loot also. And I feel like way more people would be happy to, high geared people would be happy to go there. If you didn't get 0,
Probably.
if you didn't get a rare drop. If you didn't just get 200 sturdy timber fragments.
Right, dude, that's the rough part about that spot. Someone's calling you an idiot, by the way, Frosty. In Silent Chat's calling you an idiot and saying
someone told the idiot to run 2 homes with special evasion and chest.
Yeah, just run 2 homes instead of 4.
Well, yeah, idiot's strong.
Idiot's strong.
Very strong opinion.
I get that. But no, I'm alright. I'll run my homes.
I'm alright.
Keep my accuracy. You know, that's sort of the big thing here. Yeah, I got my accuracy, got my evasion, got my HP. It's a lot of stats you lose if you get rid of the second home, dude. Anyway. Yeah, idiot's really strong, dude. I'll have the special attack
Is that the one that hurts, Frosty?
I'm preparing for the future, okay? I knew we were gonna... You know, the irony is that I'm probably still not gonna run special attack evasions, and then I'll really be an idiot to this guy, because I'm probably still gonna just run the accuracy and the human damage.
Well, at that point, even I would call you an idiot.
Dude, I mean... I'm gonna die anyway, is where I've gotten to. Maybe once I'm like... when I'm like 370 DP.
You have the amount of DP where you can survive more than anybody else, and yet you're not maximizing your surviving capabilities because you're like, well, I'm gonna die anyway.
I'm not saying it that slow.
Like, why did you even bother getting pin armor then if you're gonna die anyway?
Well, I mean, like, I don't really die to chip damage, though. I just die if, like, someone full combos me. I don't know. Because I also like being able to murder people, you know? It's a give and take.
Right. So at that point, why aren't you doing what I'm doing, which is just copying fucking Frank's build, where I'm just gonna build nothing but AP?
Because Frank is a very generic name, and I don't know who it is.
He's the top fragger ninja in Clash. He has as much AP as he does DP.
So he's 297, 297.
No, he's 309, 309.
Dude. Frank's a noob.
Dude!
Frank's a noob.
You say that, yet he's constantly getting top frags by like a large margin in front of all the fucking storks in that guild.
We'll see what these current with the new ninja changes. All right. You haven't seen
That
a
is
post
true.
nerf.
I think he was I think he originally was like a Kuno, I want to say. So maybe he'll go back to Kuno.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, suddenly I'm on board with Frank.
I like Frank. Frank, go Kuno.
Frank's good. Frank's a cool guy.
He sounds cool. Sounds cool as a Kuno.
And what a nice name too, Frank. Just so not generic and wow.
Really? Should I be running only 2 Hooms? I'm trying to think about the implications here.
I think you were majorly underestimating how much.
No, I tested it. I tested it back
evasion.
and forth, and like literally, it made no difference. So I did it with 3 different people on 3 different classes. I tested with a ninja, a witch, and I think it was a sork or a dark knight. I can't remember the third. But I tested back and forth, and like literally, I died in the exact same skill and the exact same combo with both crystal setups like 40 times in a row. So I was like, all right, I'll stick with the Hooms for now, and then once we get the Garmosh shit, I'll switch. Or I'll add Hooms in my dandy.
All I can tell you is my experience. And my experience again was that my 20% special attack evasion made me tankier than someone 2 brackets ahead of me in DP. So, I mean, that's all I can tell you about it from my experience.
Yeah. Maybe I should just get rid of corrupted. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about getting rid of corrupted, dude.
I know those ones are so good. Okay, so with accessory, Garmalt drop rate is going to be doubled. That's good. Let's talk about the what is this? The node war changes, which I don't know, man. This one's harder for me to discuss because I don't really know how
the
it's going to affect anything.
mistranslation is kind of throwing things off a little bit.
Yeah, so it looks like they're going to make it harder to destroy structures and forts, depending on the tier node war you're in. So tier 1, no change, but tier 2, 3, and 4, everything's going to be a lot harder. It also looks like the prices are changing of shit. I don't know, I have a feeling part of it is to make it, make the fights more interesting. And like being on defending your fort is going to be easier to some extent. But then also base races are going to be a little bit less rewarding. I think that's kind of the idea.
Well, base racing will basically come down to a long, drawn-out fight that finally gets both bases or one base in range, you know?
Yeah, because right now, man, like it's so rewarding for a guild that knows they're not as strong to just try to base race, because buildings die so fast if your whole guild is on another guild, you know, and their offense isn't there to defend. Yeah. So I think that whole global lab change is really just a nerf to Spartan.
You throwing shade, dude?
No, that's what they do. I can't remember, like, in the last 3 guilds I've been in, when we've ended up on a node against Spartan, I don't think they've ever engaged the ball of any guild I've been in, ever. Pretty sure. Now, I don't know if that's intentional or just luck, but it feels intentional. It's too coincidental, you know? Yeah, so hopefully the money thing, the money thing on the node wars is what I mostly don't understand. I don't know if they're making it more expensive, which I think is kind of a good thing, but also a bad thing. It's a bad thing for guilds that like actually warn, and now it's going to cost them more if they lose, but it's a good thing to maybe help prevent snipes, so hopefully that's a thing, but we'll see.
Probably more or less.
We need that 30% node war reduction, the 30% less nodes to happen on our server like immediately.
It'll really help out with getting some fights consistently.
Yeah. And then so a lot of node war changes. All right, can we talk about the kill notification thing? So a few weeks ago they added the kill notification. Whenever you're in a GVG, you see this bright red thing. I think you have to turn it on by default. I don't know if it's on. I think you have to opt in the UI settings. Do you guys know which one I'm talking about?
It came on automatically for me.
Is it automatic?
You're talking about the red thing that pops up.
Yeah.
This one? Yeah,
There's a little red
it's
thing
all-
that pops up, says kill, shows the player's name, and it gives a cool like whoosh sound effect, like that you'd hear on like
Yeah.
a news report that's talking about
almost
coronavirus.
like a gate shutting or something like that.
Coronavirus strikes the Southland. You know, and then it cuts to the next scene. It's like one of those. So,
I think it's really good because it lets you know as the player if you actually got the kill or not.
Yeah, so
because there's a lot of times in Node Wars, and there's just a bunch of craziness. You don't know if you actually got a kill, or how many kills.
And even the feed that pops up in the top center only shows 3. So the thing is, like I was gonna say, like 3 weeks ago or whatever, when they added it, it was only for GVGs. This last patch, they made it so it's GVG, Node War, RBF, like everything. Like if you just
I see it for everything right now. I think.
That's what I said. This week they added that. Like that's new.
Oh,
like,
I thought you were reading Global Lab.
No. This is like on live server, so it's for everything now, and it's so satisfying, dude. I like can't get over it.
It really is.
It's so nice.
It really is.
So should I turn it on?
Like a long
Do you have it off, dude? It's so good, man.
I turned it off whenever it first came out because I was like, this seems useless.
Dude, it just feels good,
It's
man.
so
I don't
good.
know what it is. It's like you just see the
Maybe
person
because Wrestler
die.
hasn't actually got a kill in open world.
Yeah, the guy's like, this actually makes me sad. I've never seen it.
I never see it pop up ever. No.
Dude, it's so nice, man.
It's badass.
Yeah, I like it a lot. It's like
Where
very
is it,
much
like
like a
edit
fighting
UI
game.
or
Yeah,
what?
edit UI,
Yeah, it's under
and
edit
it's
UI.
called kill notification. But yeah, it's nice, dude. Especially in a group where things are really hectic, you just instantly know without having to look for it that you got one of these kills or you killed somebody. It's nice, very satisfying.
Okay.
And the sound effect, I know a lot of people don't play with sounds, but I actually do think BDO does a good job with sounds. You just got to turn down the voices where you don't hear the wah, yeah, all the time. Once that's muted, the sound effects in this game are actually really good.
Okay, I turned on kill notification. Where do you guys have it on your screen, though?
I have mine in the top right, so it's like above my character to the right.
Above your character to the right?
Yeah. A few clicks right. Like if you go to edit UI, it's like a slightly higher than the interface edit mode thing, and then to the right like an inch.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, it's a cool sound effect, dude. Even the little like that you hear just sounds fucking epic. Like, yeah, dude, you crushed this person. I went into RBF and like ulted in a group. Dude, it was so fucking cool. It was like so I killed like 6 people, dude. I was like, yes! That is so satisfying, dude. It makes me so happy.
Alright, I put it to the right of my character because it's just kind of, I have blank space there right now.
Yeah, go RBF with it, because now it's everything. Now it's you kill someone open world, you get it. Kill someone GVG, Node War, Siege, large scale, RBF, you always see it. They also changed the RBF scoreboard. Have you noticed this?
I noticed that.
Yeah, they did. They did it this
Dude,
week.
it looks good, man.
That looks pretty cool.
I like it.
Pretty cool.
And it gives me hope that one day they're going to make RBF slightly... They only need to make subtle change, dude. Like, even if the map was bigger... Because now everyone's mobility, when RBF first came out, was Awakening out when RBF came out? What came out first, Awakening or RBF? RBF, right?
RBF.
Yeah. Like at the time,
RBF.
people's mobility was way less than it is now. Like I feel like the map needs to be like 20% just bigger. Would be really fun. And then
yeah, it would help out the skirmish classes more.
Also, like the other thing people don't think about is like the skill level. Like the average skill level of players has gone up dramatically.
Yeah.
So even if like the capabilities were always there before, people didn't always know how to do it. But like, I agree 100%. Like it made sense for the map to be as big as it was back then, but now it's like, okay, this should be quite a bit larger.
Yeah, it should be a little bigger. I still would love if they did like a tile set change or just occasionally rearranged the random like
I still don't know why they haven't implemented an RBF for fucking like each different region. Like this region is Serendia that RBF is currently based out of.
Yeah, I've always wanted.
I'm surprised they haven't. Like, all right, so Kron Castle would be like a pretty badass area for an RBF for a Valnos type region, right?
Right.
And then in Calphion you have the castle over there, or maybe one that's based around kind of like an underground zone, similar to how.
No. Put it in fucking where they had Shadow Arena, like around northern wheat plantation.
Yeah, you could do that. Like more like a little
Like a
small
village.
in a field.
Yeah,
that would
it'd
be
be
cool.
dope as fuck.
And they already have the map. They already had the fucking map from Shadow Arena. So yeah,
you
they
just
could do
gotta
that.
make it smaller.
Yeah, you'd have to condense it a little bit.
No, that map got
But,
copy pasted into a different game, dude.
You
Right.
could have a Valencia map. And that could be based on Valencia Castle or something else.
Now, I don't want to
Maybe
sell
like
anybody out.
Crescents.
Frosty, I don't want to sell anybody out, but I logged into Steam the other day to play Witcher, and I saw someone from Hex playing Shadow Arena.
Oh. On Steam. It was a Steamy?
Apparently. I mean, like, I don't know if I can even be friends with you anymore if you're going to continue to associate with these people. I mean, I'm going to call it like it is.
I don't know who it is. I don't know anyone that said that they play
it. That's probably because they're ashamed.
Who was it? I need to know now.
Dude, I don't want to,
Well, you brought it up. Now you have to say.
I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I don't even remember.
They should have kept their name private.
Yeah.
If they didn't want people to know.
I think it might have been Furl. I can't remember.
Oh, Furl? Dude, I honestly, I don't talk to him very much because he doesn't really come on anymore.
Really?
He doesn't come in voice or Discord or type that much anymore.
I feel like it was either Furl or Mina, but I don't remember actually. This was like a couple weeks ago, and I didn't really think anything of it. But I was like, oh, that's weird. Someone's playing Shadow Arena.
Right.
Also, like, it's Steam, and everybody just changes their names fucking constantly on Steam, so...
We can make fun of Mina anyway. He's been playing Final Fantasy 14 full-time, so he needs to be made fun of.
Oh, dude, yikes.
Yeah. Dude, he had to get a new keyboard because his tab button broke.
Yikes.
It just wears out over time. It's not his fault.
Yeah.
Press it so much. That's a tab target joke for those who don't know. Alright, moving on. Kill notification's fucking great, but it makes me want more stuff. And the RBF new UI is kind of cool. But again, more stuff.
But RBF is the same, so ultimately it's kind of whatever.
Yeah, make it bigger. Because I do like the new entrance. I like the new UI. I like the kill thing. Just make the area slightly bigger and like randomize the obstacles sometime. I feel like would be kind of
also,
cool.
The spawn change was weird to me because that's not usually the side that gets camped in their fucking zone. Like, it's almost always Red Desert, I believe, that gets fucking camped in their spawn.
Yeah, typically.
Wait,
those fucking
they changed the spawn on both of them.
Openings.
No, they didn't. They only did one.
Wait, the opening is different on both sides.
Those openings that they created, though, the new ones,
it is.
I feel like that's just a better way for the people that go in.
But both
camp
sides have two openings now.
easy.
Yeah.
I thought the other side always had that opening. Am I being brain dead?
No, you're crazy. Yeah, they added a second opening to literally both sides.
I almost always get Black Desert, which means I almost always win. So it's kind of I've never noticed.
Well, yeah, it's in the name. They're like the home team, basically.
Oh wait, you're right. I am being a brainlet. That zone, that little like corner was always there that you could hide in, but there was not a door there originally.
But there wasn't a door, yeah.
You right.
It also still RBF rewards need to be.
Why is that? Do you wonder? Do you think that's like an algorithm thing that they've set up that's unintentionally doing that, or what? Why does Black Desert almost always fucking win?
And I haven't put yeah, my brain hasn't put that together yet. I'd have to like think back or like go and actually take a look.
Dude, do 10 RBFs in a row and see how many times Black Desert wins. It's quite a bit more than 50. I promise you. It's quite a bit more.
I think Black Desert only accepts Cho, Black Rose, and Snake members. Maybe that's why.
Like, if I had to put an actual number to it, I'd probably say close to 70-30. Probably Black Desert wins more, it feels like.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
that feels like it's just the ones you happen to be in. But
yeah.
we'll see.
Hey, like I said,
it's a product.
I
It's
ignore.
a product of the teammates.
Now,
I
is
guess,
it possible you're put more often on Black Desert? You said, right, than Red.
Yeah, from like my experience.
So,
yeah.
do you think more it's more indicative of the fact that Q buff is too strong? Whatever
Fair
team
back.
you're on has Q buff.
Yeah, Q buff is just that OP, dude. Yeah, I mean, I'd like to pretend that the reason Black Desert wins more is just because I get put on it, but I don't think that's it. So I don't know. Maybe I'm
Dude.
completely wrong, but it feels, as somebody who plays a lot of RBF, it feels like Black Desert wins more often than Red Desert.
The Tide for me bugged out when I first logged in. It was bugged so bad that it was making me wait. Is it still fucked? No. Like at Vel, yep, it's fucked. The Tide is like going above the shipwreckage, like way above it. It's so
Oh
stupid.
yeah.
Oh, global warming, dude. The ice caps are melting.
The ice caps, brother. Oh my god.
Oh no, we're never gonna be able to fucking AFK on this shipwreckage anymore.
Oh my god. Hey, wait, so Odalita is out on KR now, right?
Yes,
been out?
it's on KR. Came out 2 weeks ago now.
Do they have that fucking tree thing? I haven't heard shit about it since Odalita came out.
No, they don't have Thorn Tree Castle yet.
Why not? That's the only thing I really care about, honestly.
Because God hates us. Wait,
I want to know what that is. I want to know if it's fun. I want to know if it's like a new RBF. I have many questions about it, and I'm upset that there's no news.
Dude, I got the last event, Last Immortality, dude. Gives me 10 Kaphra Stone and a Remnants of Destiny.
Congrats, dude. Roll
From
your dice, by the way.
That was from the dice. I did roll it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but I can't use it because my character's... I can only put it in Port Rat. Because this character's at Val. Oh, no.
Yeah, I got the...
I fucked up.
Oh.
Yeah, Vel's about to spawn. Yeah, I want to see what that Thorn Tree fucking bullshit is, too. By the way, so this guy, Jang... he's a ranger on KR. He puts up a lot of videos, kind of like Chemo does, or Chemo. I'm gonna always say Chemo or Chemo because I hear people say it both ways. But
and I don't want to be disrespectful,
dude, he put up a video of the golem grind spot, and he was solo grinding there, and it's a 3-person grind spot, so you really should be there with 3 people. But man, it really reminds me of BAMs in Terra. Fighting
really?
that spot. Yeah, because it's just big, like huge mob.
Big ass monsters?
Yeah, big ass monsters that like take forever to kill. Here, wait, I'm gonna send you this video. I'll play it in the background here. I'll send you guys both this in the chat.
BAMs were fun in Terra. They were like
fun.
mini boss fights that you could do.
Yeah, and this seemed like that to me. Sorry if it's super loud for the recorded audience. I don't know if there's sound or not through these YouTube videos. So go to is it this one? Wait, uh-oh. I think yeah. So skip to, let me find a spot. He fights 2 different mobs here. Okay, yeah. Go to 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Start right there. He finishes killing a mob. We'll all hit play together on this. So go to 2:45 and pause.
Okay, I'm at 2:45.
All right, 2:45. Nayashe, you going here?
I
able to?
am basically there now.
Okay, 2:45, 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so he finishes killing this golem, and keep in mind he's just doing this solo. The recommended AP for this spot is 300. He is, I think, 276 with Nuver, 275, 281 with Kudum. Sorry, he's 285, 281 with Kudum, and he has a Tet Black Star. All right, so this one, he says in the chat that this mob is like this particular one he's attacking is supposed to be like the toughest mob there. But tell me this doesn't look like a BAM fight to you. Like, it's just really slow lumbering, like big AoEs. And then, like, first he's fighting it kind of from range, and then he goes up close and just tries to stay behind it forever, which is basically what you did against BAMs. You just kept trying to get to its back.
Yeah.
But it takes him basically the rest of this video, like 7 minutes, to kill this one mob.
Jesus.
And then the mobs that spawn around it, I think he kills like twice. But I think if you go with 3 people, it'd be pretty quick. I mean, divide that time by 3, right? It would take you like a couple minutes to kill each one of these packs. But I actually kind of like that. I think that's kind of cool.
Now, here's my question. How come game developers always decide to choose a very big, slow mob? What not a big, fast mob?
You know what's so funny?
Answers.
A big fast mob or a little fast mob. There's a I'll show you another video after. There's actually a video. Fuck, I can't remember whose. It's a random mob that spawns. I think in Kama. It might be in Odalita, but it looked like in Kama. That's like an elite that takes like 15 minutes for these 15 people to kill.
Oh, really?
Which I have no idea what it is, but I'll find the video after this. But it was interesting because he doesn't get like much loot from this. He doesn't have a loot scroll popped, but he's using a full elixir rotation too. So that way he has like the damage reduction and life leech and extra AP. But I really do think if you do like a full elixir rotation with 3 people and kind of split the elixirs, it might actually be a decent spot. This is the spot that drops the new awakened crystals with accuracy and human damage. I don't know, it looks kind of cool to me. I know it maybe seems weird because it's just like kind of a damage sponge thing. But he takes like half health every time. He says if it was
on global server, I would have died.
He says if it was global, I think he's saying like on live server that they don't die as easily as global lab. I think it might be related to the accuracy evasion issues that people have been complaining about on global labs, where it's like not applying correctly. So yeah, with 3 people, this looks like viable. Like his DP, he has really high DP, but he is on a ranger. So if you have people with like maybe classes that are more geared towards, it might be kind of interesting. But yeah, the trash here is worth like 107k. It gives, I think when he kills it, he gets 3 Kaffir stones and like 5 dust. And then like the trash loot and no rare drop. But he did get like an armor stone or whatever. I don't even think the mob's technically considered an elite, but they drop a lot of shit. So it might be kind of cool. Let me see if I can find that other video I watched. Meanwhile, I'm going to try not to die to Vel. Trying to multitask here, dude.
Yeah, I'm just sitting on the mast while we talk.
You're definitely right about this giving like BAM vibes though.
It feels like a BAM. This is how BAM fights were too. It's like even though it was fun, like they weren't like particularly challenging. They just like did a choreographed attack and you didn't get hit by the red shit and you went behind it.
But the thing that made BAMs fun was it was just different from what you were normally doing.
Right. You're like normally killing groups of mobs and then eventually you just are killing this one like kind of hard to kill mob.
Yeah, so it's just like, and again, like that's what we were talking about with like RBF. Like, dude, literally you don't even have to change the mechanics of RBF. Just like mix it up a little bit, like in terms of its visuals or like anything. And it'll keep people fresh, you know what I mean?
Right.
The worst thing you can do is just have them do the same thing forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever.
All right, get this video, go to 0 seconds, this new video I linked you, put it on the highest quality, and we're going to talk about this live. This is going to be our initial reaction to like, what the fuck are we looking at in this video? So this was posted March 12th, 2020. He's in Kamasylvia. It's titled Black Desert Online Hidden Monster ? So let me know when you guys are there. It's it's 0-0.
Hold on, I'm trying not to die to Vel.
Okay. Is he doing his
Hold on,
attack?
I'm trying not to die to Achman.
Oh, Vel got me, dude. All right, hold on. I gotta swim back. I really need a heart, dude.
This podcast is not good for my BDO health, by the way. I have died twice since we started recording.
I almost died in Secrea a couple times because I was distracted.
What time?
Just leave it at 0-0. We're gonna watch the video together, probably a couple minutes of it, and I'll try my best to describe it for the listeners. But he's in cam. It looks at Navar and Steppe. He's killing like the ferrets, those birds or whatever. Hold on, swim back to the thing. Just leave it at 0-0. I'll count us down. And we'll start. Is Vel? Vel's not dead yet, dude. Come on, Vel. Can you die already? I guess I could just stay dead. It doesn't really matter. I'll still get the bundle, right?
Are you sure about that?
I got struck by lightning right when I got on the wreckage. I'm not sure about that.
I feel like I've heard people say you don't get loot if you die.
I'm not 100% sure, but I do think you do get loot. But Yeah, let me let... Vel should die in the next minute or two here. Oh, I think I have to dive. Oh, lightning struck me right as I have to dive. Is it going to get me killed?
You're going to get fucked.
Alright, I dove. Stupid Vel wave. I think when he leaps
I
out of the water...
I have a question for you guys. What are you guys doing with these sweet candy bags?
I have no idea.
I've just kind of been collecting them because I don't know what to do with them.
I honestly think the best thing is to use the... or exchange them for the horse mats, probably. Like cost-effective wise. Or if your character actually needs breath, strength, or health. If it's sub 29, if you re-rolled or whatever, helps with that.
Yeah, apparently, Silent Chad says you still get it if you're dead.
Okay.
Frosty, you want to test?
I'm alive. Oh, I fell into the water.
What
I'm
the
alive.
fuck even is the spirit pouch of the ferocious beast? What is that?
It's
some
just
life skill shit?
No. That's one of the that's the horse mat I was talking about. So you use that to do horse attempts at the stable when you're going for a dream horse.
Ah.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Hold on, let me switch characters. Make sure I didn't get a Vel's heart so I could be upset. And then we'll watch this video. You have it at 0-0, right, Rez?
I do, yeah, but I can't just start it whenever you want me to.
I know. You got to swap characters. I'm gonna open my
I'm not
Vels.
swap characters. I just have to finish killing a pack.
All right, finish killing the pack. While I sadly open this Vel's bundle and get nothing. Let me watch all the people that are getting Vel's hearts on my channel.
I got nothing.
Hey, at least now if you get a rainbow coral ring, it's worth. Because it's worth 23 mil.
All right,
now.
I'm ready.
Rainbow coral ring's 23 mil now because of the journal. Ooh! No, I got excited. I thought I got the 100 mil gold bar, but I got a 10 mil one, so that's pretty cool. 10 mil and 5 mil.
Ready.
All right, calm down, dude.
I'm ready.
Okay, here we go.
You're slowing down my grind speed, Frosty. Come on.
This is the mysterious whatever. Hit play. Go. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so he's grinding these ferrets. Just mind his own business. Do. And then a mob like spawns. Let's see, where is this at? Watch, he's like walking through this area. Where does it happen at? Yeah, there's an elite here. Look, this weird like portal. You see this shit? This is in Kama. And there's what looks kind of like a Kadri mob, like with a shield, or almost like the Necropolis mobs. So he starts fighting it. Look how much fucking damage it does to them.
Holy fuck.
And it's just a purple elite. Dude, and they fight it, and it's just the two of them at first, and they're like confused as shit, and then they call more and more guildies over. Eventually there's like 20 people, and it takes them like a full like 3 or 4 minutes with 20 people to kill this thing. I have no idea what the fuck this is.
I've never heard of anything like this.
Yeah, me neither. But it's kind of fucking cool.
This is in KR?
Yeah, this is in KR. This is like on live server.
There was no announcement about this.
Dude, look how much damage he takes. Yeah, he panics. Dude, if you like watch the platoon HP bars, they like dip constantly. So this mob, just for context for people listening and not able to see it, basically looks like... It looks...
The warrior Shere Khan mob.
Yeah, one of the warrior ones, but it's not a sword, right? It's like a club. Doesn't it have like a club or a mace or something?
I can't really tell in all honesty.
Yeah, I think he has a mace in his right hand, a shield in his left, and he's like fully armored out. And he's just running around using like AoEs and ground slam looking things, like warrior type abilities. And it's just chunking people.
You know what's interesting? You can actually see his HP gauge.
You can see his HP gauge, right? It's not like a mob he doesn't have knowledge on, which is another interesting thing. That's for sure ground smash or ground slam, one of the two.
Must be a succession warrior.
This is a succession warrior, exactly. With a mace. Also, no offense to this DK, but he literally uses Spirit Legacy over and over off cooldown. It upsets me. I think he cuts through in the video like a lot. He's like editing. So this actually takes longer than this video length. The video length is about 5 minutes, but it takes them a long time to kill this thing because he keeps cutting. It's like time jumping.
Yeah, he cuts.
And there's more and more people. Now their platoon has 11 people. Started with 2, then it was like 7. Now it's 11 people in this platoon. About 3
But
minutes into this
he
video.
has that timer up there, so just watch that.
Is that hours? Oh no,
Oh my
sorry.
God.
That's not from the start of the mob though. That's just from. Is it?
No,
Probably
it's not.
stream.
But what I'm saying is you can use that to
You can
gauge
see
how
the
long it
cutting.
took.
Yeah.
Right, how much time has gone by. Okay. You scared me for a second. I was like, what the fuck?
Is that hour? They've been here for 4 hours?
Yeah, that'd be scary.
No offense to these guys, but I do want to see some of them die. I want to see also if he loses crystals.
I don't think he wants to see that.
No.
Mobs like this generally do take crystals.
Like, this fight looks fun. Okay, so now it's
Wait,
already been like 17 minutes. It jumped 17 minutes.
17 minutes.
So they've been fighting this thing for like a half hour.
40 minutes. At least 30 to 40, yeah.
And they now have 15 people in their platoon. They're jumped another 4 minutes. Now they have 17 people.
I wonder if this is like a Kama Gatekeeper.
Right? All right, it's about to die, and he has the loot window open, so you'll be able to see like what all his guildies and stuff get in the bottom left, I believe. Like he's spamming Spirit Legacy. It's
Jesus,
killing
how many legacies can you spam?
Right? It doesn't do any damage off cooldown. What is he doing? If I was the other guildies, I'd be like, hey, can you help actually DPS this thing and stop using Spirit Legacy?
It looks satisfying though.
I know that animation is so fucking nice. Okay. Oh, dude, people like get chunked below. All right, there's the loot. So it looks like I think it's the new earring that drops.
Oh,
right?
someone got a.
Those are Dawning.
What is that?
Those are Dawning earrings. I'm pretty sure. Wait, did someone get a dandy, or is that just from something else? Or not a dandy, a
Look like a Kudum.
15k trap. It looks like the stuff that drops at what's it called? The New Bloody Monastery. That's what it looks like.
Totally
so like,
not worth the money, but it's a cool experience for them, I'm sure.
Armor stones, dust, whatever, and then it looks like they drop Dawning earrings as well. But that's cool.
So yeah, it might be like a new type of gatekeeper, yeah, what Fresler said.
I wish he would open. Does he open his inventory ever? Like, how much trash did he get from it?
That's interesting.
Yeah, so that's totally random and new. I like it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. I don't mind content like that being hidden. And then like surprise content like that.
Yeah, don't even put in the patch. Cool. Yeah.
Like whatever. That's fine. Just the stats on your gear and whatnot, I feel like should be something that you know.
So they fought it for almost an hour.
Jesus.
From the start of just the two guys. The two guys started fighting it at 3:19. And they killed it at about 4:12, I believe. Yeah, 4:12. So it took almost an hour.
So it probably would have taken like 40, maybe, let's say it took 50, whatever, 2 minutes.
I think it'd probably taken 20 to 30 minutes if you had a full platoon.
If you had a full plat since the beginning, probably like 20, 30.
And well, maybe even only 15 if the dude wasn't using Spirit Legacy. If he used Lunacy.
Yeah, that's fair.
And Wheel.
That might be why they don't actually like DKs in siege groups.
They're just using Spirit Legacy. Like none of this. Yeah, he's like, look at this. I'll go through a whole rotation. None of this is protected.
Just casting Spirit Legacy.
Yeah, because there's that information I got like where basically they don't like DKs in siege at all in KR. They would rather have a Witch Wizard because it's just better. It does the same shit except better in their opinion. So that's probably why they don't have DKs. They just spam Legacy.
Anyway, that looked cool. That and the
I think that's pretty cool. I like that.
That and the golems. Like, even if it's not efficient, I don't even care if it's efficient, dude. I think it would be fun to just go with 3 people and fight golems. Just because it's scary. It's a little bit scary and it's like different, you know?
Yeah, well, and like the thing is like, those are the types of mobs that should be like the second Crescent location. Where like it's not efficient, but there's a chance that you might get something really cool. So it makes it like really fun and makes you like actually want to get your friends and like do it. You know what I'm saying?
Just as long as you don't get
You think
nothing.
this might be like their attempt at like a random world boss kind of thing? Like not like a true world boss, but like a random one?
Maybe, but it looks more like it looks more Gatekeeper-esque, where you'd only tell your guild
it
not
screams
world chat.
Gatekeeper to me, dude.
Yeah.
It literally screams Gatekeeper to me.
I feel like they should make it so that gatekeepers are actually fucking deadly. If you don't go kill them and they open up their gate, so to speak, they just flood the entire zone they're in with fucking mobs that are like pretty lethal.
What if,
dude?
What if they did some actual like world immersion shit where if people don't keep gatekeepers in check, then like a whole town on a server will get shut down and like overran with mobs and shit.
I think they should do that. I think that'd be dope as fuck.
I mean, they could also have like at the places where gatekeepers spawn. Granted, like no one really grinds at those places anymore unless you're like noob or like in the game. But if they ever buff those spots, but make the gatekeeper obviously like buff the drops. This would correlate with buff the drops, so it like actually makes sense to do them. But if they're like left untouched when they first spawn, then they start walking around in those spots and actually kill people grinding there. So you have to get rid of them or the spots start becoming ungrindable.
Yeah.
That would be dope.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that would be fun. Something like that. Dude, the gatekeepers have always been like some of the more interesting content. It would be nice if they made the drops good.
That moment when you're panicking because your grind zone's about ready to become ungrindable, so you're trying to get everyone and your mother over here to help kill it.
Killing a gatekeeper should actually be like opening belongings, where you have a chance to get like an upgraded piece.
Yeah, that'd be a good way to make them viable again.
Yeah.
It'd have to do a little bit more than that, I feel, but yeah, that would help.
Well, don't be greedy, dude. Stop trying to get rich quick.
Dude, typical Maywall. Give him an inch and he'll take a mile.
Yeah. It's like, oh man, these buffs are really nice. If only we had unlimited stamina. Dude. Okay.
So toxic. One day, Frosty, you're gonna play a Maywa and you will know. You will know how it feels.
So we had Rylock on last week as a reminder, and we were talking about the most whiny classes on the server. I think we're gonna move into comments here right now, and I think we got a lot of DKs that are not happy with us. I'm pretty sure.
There were a couple DKs that actually agreed with us, though.
Yeah.
I did see a couple comments that were like, DK here, think DK could use some buffs here or there, but yeah, the whining is actually like annoying and like
and Succession
mostly,
DKs,
ridiculous.
They pointed out Succession DKs for the most part are actually like pretty happy with what they have.
Yeah.
Which is
that's
good.
What I heard too.
And they should be, because goddamn.
Well, yeah, they're fucking. What's that one ability? It literally one shots. I was fighting a DK yesterday, and he had 274 AP, and he almost damn near one shot me with one of his abilities. Mind you, I am low DP, and I do have Macaload, so that's, to be fair, I am very squishy, but still, like fucking hell.
How much DP do you have?
We call him Mako Alodies. It's pronounced Mako Alodi.
I'm gonna need all these people. I'm gonna need all these people with more gear than me to stop talking about how little gear they have. It's starting to give me a bit.
I know.
Bit of a seizure.
I'm talking from a perspective of Succession damage makes 310, 320, 330 DP feel like it's paper.
No, so it's just
if you're like 330, you're technically low DP against Succession classes.
I don't know if you saw it, Nayashe, but it was either in the Discord or in a comment. I can't remember which, but someone was like, I'm only 281 AP, so I'm not that geared. It's like, feels bad.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even think, like, Succession's PvP damage across the board, like, a lot of classes have been nerfed, so it doesn't even feel that crazy anymore. Because, like, right now, if you get, like, let's just say Kuno, Ninja, or Awakened Sork, if you're let's just say 24 or 331 DP and a 285 AP, one of those three classes CCs you, dude, you die so fast. It's like, it's fucking crazy. Dude, Serpent, the other day, my friend like switched to Awakening after the ninja nerfs, and like, I was like, oh yeah, Serpent takes 70% of my health. I forgot.
Yeah.
God damn.
Serpent's insane with high AP.
Okay. All right, let's see. We're going to go through comments here. Let's see. Okay. 44 or 43 comments. It shouldn't be too bad. Let's see. Eumenidai says Reslar jokes about the armor of the dead god downgrading all the way to base when failing. PA, I'm taking notes. Reslar, bruh.
They literally did. I said that as a joke whenever they first like started talking about Armor of the Dead God. I was like, maybe when you fail, it goes all the way back to base. Ha ha ha. And then they actually fucking did it, dude. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Well, in fairness, though, it's not so bad because it goes to base, but you don't go
It's
plus
still,
1
like,
to 15. Yeah, it's only base,
Yeah.
pride, duo, tri, tet, and pen. There's no like 1 through 15. Can you imagine though armor that downgrades all the way to 0 but goes up to 15? It's like a horse gear kind of. Lord X says, great episode. Playing the game with no awakening wasn't that long ago for us console plebs. I still have nightmares over Rangers, how things have changed. One of the many things that upsets me about playing console version is we will never get to experience the broken new patches that come for classes and suck. We will get the nerfed versions, sad face. One thing I loved about Destiny 1 was all the broken shit. It was fun to mess around with them before they got nerfed, whereas D2 launched very balanced and bland. I personally enjoy games that have OP stuff as long as they keep rotating what's OP, keeps it fresh. Yeah, I don't disagree. That was kind of always been my argument with like my examples of like StarCraft 2 versus StarCraft 1. StarCraft 2, they've been very, very try hard on balance. Obviously, there's been parts where like certain things are overpowered, but StarCraft 1 has always felt like everything is overpowered in that game. So it makes everything balanced because everything is overpowered. So yeah, it was like a give and a take.
But that's not always the case, though.
No, for sure. You can have overpowered where they never address it and nothing gets fixed and it sucks for everybody.
Right. Like
Right.
pre-CC changes, everything was overpowered, but did that feel more balanced than what we have now? I don't think so.
Well, look at it this way. Ninja had more protection than ever and more CCs pre-CC changes, and they were like one of the worst classes. That's how weird it was. It was such a weird time.
But then the other thing to consider as well is like as post CC changes, these classes that are coming out are like more and more protected. Archer, Guardian, like it seems like earlier you talked about how like every class that came out seemed to have more protected CCs. It's like even though we're past the CC changes, they haven't stopped doing that. Like it's still fucking ramping up.
Yeah. For sure. Max Bunch says, yeah, Nayashe is only a Anfield Light version of Team Meiwa. True.
What? Anfield Light.
Yeah, if you ever watch Anfield's videos, they're very like he has really good instructional videos, but he always like caveats it with like the beginning will be yeah, like super victim, like Cacao did it again, destroyed the Ranger class, which is just so sad because they've been doing nothing but destroying Ranger class for 2 years. So yeah, Nayashe's the Meiwa version of that for sure.
Whatever. All right. Hold on. There's only one video.
Here comes the Meiwa cast.
Hold on. There's only one video I ever did that was my honest review that I had a rant about, and that is just the one for the Succession kit where they released it as it was. That is it. I've never once made a video where I just complained about a whole bunch of aspects of how they developed the particular kit.
Didn't you say once, if you love Meiwa, play Ninja?
What? No.
Okay.
Why would I say that?
Because you're a Meiwa hater, dude. You're a Meiwa victim hater.
Meiwa victim hater.
Dude, yeah. I think that's because he said you're like a Anfield Light, so you're not full Anfield.
Right, just like Rangers are a DK Light.
Yeah, exactly.
In terms of the amount that they complain.
Enfrax says, if I, as a Sork, would have to name a thing that could be nerfed, it would actually be the PvP damage. I mean, we have such a huge kit with so much combo potential that I'd gladly use more often to its extent. Loved the episode. Great guests, interesting topics, much love. Thank you.
Gracias.
The Musassin says, at Frosty and Reslar, I heard that sigh when I made the comment about Musa being dead. Don't know which classes you actually mean, but let me give you a scenario. Maybe you'll understand my gripe with the nerf. P.S. I've moved by the accuracy nerf. I just don't like the 4-second cooldown on Serene Mind buff. Well, cool. You don't have it. Right?
You don't have to worry about it now.
So he gives this whole scenario, and it doesn't really apply anymore because they didn't get that buff. But he says there's something in here I want to. There's this sentence in here that irks me a little bit. He says, so first of all, he says, for PvE, people forget that Blooming Rising Storm have a pretty long cooldown. For PvP, this means if you can't kill your opponent with a full combo, then Musa suck, gotta run around, which takes stamina, so your cooldowns are up. And some people like to bitch about Musa Mail running away. Pfft. And now they're taking away 100% accuracy, so you gotta be really geared. This nerf has a domino effect. No. Wrong?
No, the 100% accuracy did not impact normal geared players versus normal geared players. It's only the extreme case scenario where someone's full DR evasion, or not DR, but DP evasion set up like a shy with like fucking 500 DP.
So listen to this line.
That would be
He says basically PA killed PvE for suck Musa. I get that like there was a nerf, and granted the Serene Mind change didn't come into play the way it was, so it's not as bad as we originally thought. But even still, it's like the absolutes make the comment not like it's something you can have a conversation with, right? Because your mind is so made up so far one direction that it's like there's not a discussion we can have. Because it's not like, hey, they made it worse and now I'm not as good as this, but I'm still like, I'm not a ninja. Like
most
Ninja
people react
Awakening.
that way, though. I feel when negative changes.
It's bad. I don't know. They didn't kill Suck Musa in PvE or PvP. It's still very good. Personally, as a person that has to fight against Musa a lot, I still, even with the upcoming changes to Musa Awakening that are buffing them, I would rather any day fight an Awakened Musa over a Succession. Any day. Succession is way more difficult to fight against. And then the accuracy thing is like, so here there's actually a really easy test because Sorceress has Shards of Darkness, which only has one hit. It's 3,100% times 1 with 100% crit, 100% accuracy. And then after the change is only 50% accuracy. So if that hit misses, it does 0 damage. Like literally does nothing. It's just X1.
That is the easiest way to test.
Super easy way to test. I have 350 DP. I have somewhere around 730 evasion, not counting like percentage evasion buffs, which probably would bring it up even higher. But I was testing with a friend who's basically, he's 277 AP on a Sorc. He just has like your standard setup. I think he has normal precision still, and he has Viper crystals and Whom crystals and whatever. So he's like standard accuracy that a player at 277 would have. He hit me with Shard Explosion 10 times straight. It didn't miss a single time, even with the 50% accuracy, even with my evasion buffs up. So yeah, you don't need to be way more geared to kill people. Like it's just...
Yep.
Yeah. Jimmy Lang.
People had a freak out moment about it because they didn't take into account your hit rate plus the hit rate of the ability.
Right, exactly.
So when you consider how much accuracy you have, and they don't know the formula too, which is very simple. All you need is half the accuracy to their evasion, and it's basically determines whether or not you have a 50% hit rate. So as long as you have half, so 400 accuracy versus 800, which evasion at 800 is pretty difficult to obtain, that will determine you have a 50% hit rate with just a normal slash with no extra accuracy added onto it. Then you consider the ability's accuracy on top of your hit rate, and that determines your actual hit rate. So plus 50% with people averaging around 400 hit rate, 400 accuracy to 450 accuracy on average. You don't really need all that much gear in order to be able to 100% hit your opponent with blood.
Also, I have a question. He said Blooming has a long cooldown. It's not that long, is it? What is the cooldown on Blooming?
It's 14 seconds. It's not really that long, but
Oh, that's adorable.
I know.
He thinks he has a long cooldown.
Well,
How
you got to remember,
cute.
he's talking from a moose's perspective, and they like to, you know, throw bloomings out like they're fucking hotcakes. Remember?
Yeah, I know. Everyone
Well-
likes to pretend that they have a long cooldown, and then here's Ancient Wave with 30 seconds.
With the Serene Mind buff, you still get to use it more than that. So it's like, I don't know. All right, so let's move on. Jimmy Lang says, "Welcome to the weekly Nayashe complains about Meiwa." True.
Damn it! See, this is what I said last week. I'm like, I don't want to bring up any Meiwa stuff, and then Rylock brought it up. I'm like, oh god damn it! Here we go.
Well, really, it's Frosty like poking the bear that keeps bringing us back to this point.
I keep baiting you as much as I can.
Yeah.
When Scar says, "I'd rather listen to you complain about desync and PvP than listen to Rangers complain about their class. Do Rangers ever, and I mean ever, stop complaining about their class?"
Yikes.
No, they do not. Although, in fairness, Rylock was really... He
was pretty objective.
Yeah, he was as objective as you can be. Because the issues with Ranger are very apparent. Right, like the pre-awaken or awaken ranger.
Even all of us really agreed with some of the stuff, like the S block. We all agreed that was probably a thing that was needed.
Agreed.
I felt like they were very unprotected too.
Needs S block. Maybe blooming got over nerfed, but it's still like okay. And then their awakening, they're just too squishy. They're just straight up too squishy for like what they can do in awakening. So it makes it like hard to play. Yeah,
Rylock was very
he's
very realistic.
He was good.
Like he had his complaints, he had his griefs, but he was always realistic and came like he didn't come from a place of like anger and like, my class sucks, why is it so bad? I should be able to like instant kill people. He's always like, no, like here, let me lay out the reasons why this is the way that I think it is. And like I can always appreciate when people are like that, basically.
I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard he left Cho Nation like right after the podcast, which is kind of weird.
Probably the Rangers kicked him out.
So to find out. Josh K says, in response to what Rylock was saying about KR meta, it is important to remember that Korea is a very compact country, therefore players on average have very, very low ping. We all have seen how much ping impacts BDO. A low across the board ping probably drastically changes how the game feels and plays. This is true.
That's fair.
It's definitely true. Glyphwire says, link to the video of ninjas or cockroaches. Thanks for the podcast. Really fun grinding and working while listening. And then Rezar linked it.
That video was hilarious.
That video is great. Kelekos, the Spellweaver says, as always, you made my grinding session enjoyable. I love the direction. All right, this is I don't know if he doesn't have a TLDR, so I'm going to get through this. Please put TLDRs, people. I'll try to reply to all of them in time so we can get TLDRs. But he says, I love the direction.
Do you need me to make TLDRs for the ones that don't have TLDRs?
No, I think if I get to them all in time, we'll get them. Because I check the comments usually throughout the week. I just got to reply and tell him to put one. He says, I love the direction of gear progression we're getting where our hard-earned pen can be elevated to the next tier instead of making them obsolete. I really just hate the feeling of getting this gear to pen only to realize that a couple years later, this hard-earned gear is worthless anymore. Yeah, I agree. I think we've said that a few times, right, Rez? Like where it's like, in some of these old games where like the new expansion comes out, it kind of makes all your gear irrelevant, and then you just move on to the next.
Right, yeah.
So it's kind of cool. There's like a middle ground where it's kind of interesting how they're doing things. It does make the carrot super far for new players, but hopefully they keep making that shit easier.
It does and it doesn't. Like with the seasons coming out, I think that's kind of like their way to help out with mitigating that.
Yeah,
you know.
Agree. He says, also want to comment on the striker thing that came out. First of all, I want to apologize. This petty considering this isn't even a topic of the video. It's just that I'm quite defensive of this topic, mostly because how the community brands this class as mindless zero skill brain dead monkey class. Striker 1v1 isn't as good as people are believing them to be, but I do think they are much better placed than the bottom level classes like Mystics, who've been nerfed to the ground, super bad mobility after Wolf's Hunger nerf, but they are not as strong in 1v1 as people believe, specifically against knowledgeable people. What is W/C in internet speak?
I thought that meant welcome.
I don't know. Silent Chad. Any idea what W/C would mean?
With something maybe.
Yeah.
With care.
With care.
Knowledgeable people with care, in my opinion, is the standard if we're talking about class 1v1 tier.
We should just fill in. Just see that fill in what we think it is from now on. So we just make the sentence and the comment completely awkward.
He uses it a couple times, so we're screwed here. The issue is they have slow, uncancelable animations with care.
Oh, maybe it's like will constantly. Does that make sense?
No, because listen to this sentence. Well, I'll try both versions. The issue is they have slow plus uncancelable animations. Will care makes them easy to grab, so that doesn't work, right?
Oh, it's a skill. It's a skill.
Or he says, oh, that way he says. The issue is they have slow / uncancelable animations. Wait, what was the one you said, Rez?
Will constantly.
Oh yeah,
but Nayashe's saying it's a skill.
Well, which skill is
it? Like Wolf Claw or something? Like I know they have Wolf Frenzy, but
that wouldn't make sense either if it was a skill grammatically, right?
No, because even a skill doesn't make sense here. Like if he says uncancelable animations, WC. Oh wait, no, I don't know what he means. I don't know what WC is. God damn it. Slow. I'm trying to think of all their skills. Like, let's see. Wolf's Fang, Crouching Wolf, Wolf's Hunger. No. Echo Spirit, Skullcrest. Nothing that I can think of. Ferocious. Nothingness.
What does W/C mean?
Come on, Silent Chat. We need you.
It means water closet. Easy.
All right, that makes sense then. All right, animations water closet makes them easy to grab. And on top of it all, these skills have many telegraphed, uncancelable SA gaps that anyone who went deep to striker mechanics would easily punish. Super good example if Nayashe striker duel from way back. And he links Nayashe dueling a striker. It's really not hard to punish because of how telegraphed it is. The uppercut in the video, no matter where they chain it to F, LMB, RMB, or if they do a good job at all, just the plain uppercut would leave them unprotected. When they land the striker, no way of doing anything. Other praying to God, he's not fighting against someone who went deep into striker before someone like Nayashe. It's not just the uppercut skill, even the bread and butter skill, mass destruction, many more mobility skills that don't want to give away. To be honest, the only thing keeping me from buying reroll coupons is rich lore of strikers when the mystic is thirsty for the striker's booty. Anyway, sorry Frosty if you have to read the insane walled text. I wouldn't if you put a TLDR, but I do want to address some of this stuff. Wait, what were you going to say, Russ?
Wait. Hold on.
I was going to say
what's the beginning portion of that? Because I kind of missed it.
Not rereading that.
Oh no, hold on. Send me the link. I'll read over it.
I don't know how this wasn't the first thing we thought of, because I know for a fact you guys have seen it used like this before as well, because I've seen it used like this a lot. It means wrong chat.
True.
Wrong chat?
In this context, it doesn't, but yeah, it does mean wrong chat, but not with the slash. Okay, so here's a couple things I want to address. One, Striker is good in 1v1, and two, yes, there are telegraphed abilities, but all right, I don't know what you mean by mass destruction in this context. Mass destruction is not unprotected in any sense. So a Meiwa cannot punish you for using mass destruction. Mass destruction both lingers at the end and is protected from start to finish.
Unless you're using it off cooldown.
Unless you're using it off cooldown or with very high ping, where the beginning feels like it's not protected, but with lower ping, it is protected through and through. The other thing is a lot of your skills are cancelable, and okay, sure, if you use Twisted Collision in someone's face, like Nayashe, who can react to stuff quickly, you're going to get CC'd, but Twisted Collision actually has range on the CC, so you shouldn't be using it right in their face. You can use it at a distance where it'll still hit them and potentially CC them, and they have to actually like close a little bit of that distance first, which would be more than just a chase. Also, you have to kind of anticipate where they're going to go or sides they're poking. Like if someone as good as Nayashe, who's learning your tendencies, is fighting you, you have to learn theirs too. Like that is one of the reasons why people I think call Striker brain dead, because you're just using Twisted Collision, but you're not realizing, all right, this dude dragon bit me, or what is Stigma, right? Is the really fast. What's the really fast one where you like go behind and
Stigma?
Or
no, not Stigma. Forward blind thrust.
So if they're using that, it's like, all right, this person in this fight, 5 fights in a row, they forward blind thrust from my right side. I'm going to tilt my twisted collision to the right a little bit because I don't want to get hit on that side. It's like boxing in when you get against someone really good. You have to start learning their tendencies and don't just use these skills completely blindly.
There's some strikers that I fought in the past. Skirts that used to play. I don't know if he plays anymore, but he was in Barcode for a while. Amazing striker. Like, he would use unprotected abilities, but he would do it in a very unpredictable way. Like, if you're gonna do something in a very predictable way, of course I'm gonna figure out your pattern, and I'm going to like literally start aiming for that, and I'm gonna punish the fuck out of it. That's what I do. Like, I usually am at my worst fighting a new opponent at the very beginning, and then as we continue fighting, I start to slowly pick up on their patterns, and you'll notice that I'll progress over the fights, winning more catches and stuff like that. That's usually how my playstyle is. I learn to adapt to my opponent.
But that's why if you ever want to challenge Nayashe for the title,
you just do one and run. You do one.
You just do best of one. You just do best of one.
Best of one and run.
Yeah.
But like, seriously, no, seriously. Today I got challenged multiple times for my grind spot at Stars End. I got challenged and yesterday too. I got challenged by VCD. He won the first fight. I won the last 2. And I got challenged today by a Suck Warrior. He won the first fight. I won the last 2. I got challenged by a Suck Valkyrie. I lost the first fight. I won the last 2.
I can actually explain why that happened in all of those. So the first fight, he's like, Mayo was just extra aggressive, going to use everything. Then the second and third fight, he's like, all right, I'm just going to run around stub arrow because he caught me. Dude, so
no.
The other thing too is like whenever classes say like we have telegraph skills or uncancelable SA gaps, you're describing basically every class. Like everyone has those. That's not.
Yeah, like
everyone is using unprotected skills to try to like capitalize on something they might have see or anticipate, like calculated risk type abilities. Like that's how it is. Like I don't know.
My forward blind thrust catch that I typically catch people with, it's unprotected. It's just really fast. So if you can kind of predict when I'm probably going to do that, I do have a tell. You know, like some players pick up on it, but there is a tell. I'm not going to explain it on stream because fuck you all. But there's some specific I do that kind of gives away when I'm probably going to do it, and you can usually just do an AoE ability and it'll catch me, just because that's ends up how it works. But there's certain things that I have to do in order to like do what I want to do, unfortunately. But
right,
it's just you just got to learn to like notice that, but you got to be more knowledgeable of your opponent's kit. Like for an example, like me, I try to sit down and learn. I'll sit someone that's actually really good at the class. I sit them down with me and learn the openings, learn where I can punish them and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's all about just spending more time on it.
I'm going to give two examples. One specifically in the striker matchup. I was fighting this guy Carvist, who he is one of those like, I don't think he's super creative in his PvP, but he does the fundamentals like perfectly. Like he has so few openings, and he saves silent step for block jump. He uses it exactly on time when he sees block jump. And like one of these patterns that I noticed is like he's not using silent step unless I block jump, or like he'll use it if he thinks he's gonna get away. But he like generally will use it at this specific time. And silent step it's unprotected at the very end. So what I kept doing is like when he would silent step out of the way, he would do it so I'm out of range of block jump, or he would miss entirely. So then one of the times I would block jump but not even go to him. This is on Kuno, and then immediately come out with his silent step, like when I see him come out, and I would just use ankle cutter, which is teleport bound, which is like a quick teleport bound, like on his landing a silent step. So like after seeing it a few times, you kind of change and anticipate what he's doing. And then another thing is there's another block jump example, but do you know Cobain, Nayashe?
Yeah.
Cobain, really good, like solid Sork. He was fighting Kinner. You know Kinner, the Kuno?
Yeah.
And Kinner was like, he was like trying to teach me some Kuno shit, and he was fighting Cobain, and it was funny because he was whispering me in between. He's like, I'm literally going to use block jump and hold it, 7 straight fights in a row, and right around fight 6 or 7, he's going to try to catch me out of the held version. He's going to time me. He's going to either throw a Dream of Doom or try to turn back / right on it. So on the 7th one, and like literally after like 6 fights, like on literally the 7th time, the 7th fight that he used block jump, he whispers me, he's like, this time I'm not going to hold it. I'm going to insta do it and get the block jump grab, like guaranteed. And he literally did it on Cobain, who's super good. He literally like fucking predicted it. He's like, so he instant block jump and grabs him on that one. And like that's kind of like one of those things, like it's, I don't know, it makes the game like a fighting game. You can like
it's a mind game thing. You bait your opponent into a false sense of security, and then you usually just dick on them from there.
Another one is like when you see ninjas use murder, like Sorks get caught by murder intent a lot because Sorks rely on frontal guard. But when you see ninjas use murderous intent on like Amora, they're like afraid to use it aggressively because Amora knows how so well to CC someone.
He's literally studied all the different openings.
Dude, and I don't know. So like when I fight good, there's this he'll never like I don't know. He'll never be like a streamer, I don't think, or like put himself out there or videos and stuff, but Rage and Angel, like Rez, you remember him, right?
Yeah, of course.
Dude, his 1v1 striker is fucking like absurd. Like that dude is he's
always been really solid.
He's always been good, dude, and he like will literally sit there and practice and like actually like pick up on your tendencies and stuff. Like he's like one of the hardest strikers I've ever fought on matchups that he's supposed to just straight up lose. Like he embarrasses people. So
one of my favorite things to do, I was going to say, in regards to block jump, is when people keep using block jump the same exact way over and over again, and then there's just one fight where they do it. I know exactly when they're going to do it, and then I just turn my camera around and grab them right as they come out of it before I even get grappled.
Yeah.
That shit. Dude, there's nothing funnier than the question marks I get hit with whenever I do that.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Yeah. So the Musassin says, I feel like there's going to be a cash shop in the seasonal server, which is going to defeat the purpose of seasonal. Yeah, I think so too, but I do think it's going to be family wide. I think those items will kind of be. I'm not really sure. I don't know. I'll have to see how it works, but I'm pretty sure like some of the cash shop stuff will apply to everything you have. Stefano says, but how do you get the armor of the dead god? So there's 2 different ways. You can have a pen Black Star armor, and I believe it's 8,600 Kaphra stones. And you use, I don't know, something simple alchemy or an NPC or something, and you exchange it for armor of the dead god. Or you can have a pen dim tree that is Kaphras level 10 and a rare drop from the 270 AP spot. It's just like an item. And you exchange both of those for Armor of the Dead God. So, yeah. I can't wait to get that shit, dude. They also nerfed the drop rate of that item, apparently, in Korea by half or 50%. So, when we get it, it's going to be hard to get. Talented Sniping says, I can tell you that the number one thing that turned me off Zerker is that cannon. I came to play medieval fantasy game, not a fucking Metroid Prime.
That's fair.
True.
Don't know what you're missing.
I do still think at least the cannon, even though it is like a gun, it still has a medieval feel to it, right? I don't know.
It's like an old-timey cannon.
Yeah.
It's not like
it's like a pirate. It's more like a pirate type.
Yeah, it's not like we're shooting laser beams and shit.
Yeah, it's also not like, I don't know, some gunner classes where they're like using rifles and stuff like, I don't know, this feels a little bit less mechanical than that. It has kind of a cool, but I'm with you. That's one of the reasons I don't. I like the fantasy style stuff more so than like modern guns and stuff. Snarky Mega Man. Snarky Sue just says, honestly, I love the league's idea, seasons using language from PoE. Love the idea and love to see more radical events put into these temp servers for more fun stuff like double mobs or loot goblins of sort. Maybe more mini bosses that spawn regularly, big batter elites, etc. I think your guys' questions and concerns are valid, but the trade-in gear I thought was self-explanatory. They will probably add a vendor to trade your pen gear in, or will transform or transfer to main server. The enhance rate is double if I recall correctly, and 10% pen chance is very generous on around 100 stacks. I think it might be faster on main server. Let's just say it is. I think overall it'll be a better experience for new players to play with, and having an equal gear footing to everyone on the start. I had thoughts about the economy, right? But the thing is, all the items the seasons people have is items not farmed in the main server. So in the end, it's all items that would have been there if they had been playing main. The economy will be fine, undoubtedly. The premium items, we're all unsure, but I'm going to put my money on that. The items you have on main, like tents and seasons, where everyone will be given a base loadout. Everyone has X inventory, X weight, X pets that don't transfer back to main. And I highly doubt markets will be connected at all. Imagine if it was lol W. Would be really dumb. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I got some comments on that. Like, I don't think it was obvious. Like, just
I was about to say, I'm gonna need some sources on that.
Yeah, you're making an assumption too. Therefore, you don't know anyways what the hell is going on with it. So I just don't think that's
unless there's some posts that we missed. I don't know where you're coming up with all of this information.
Yeah.
Because they definitely don't talk about it from the sources that we were reading.
So it looks like this. This is the way I've gathered from some of the Korean videos. If it is a transfer over thing, there's not an NPC or anything, but when the season ends and your character transfers over, those pieces that you upgraded are equal to one level below of actual boss gear. So the chest armor, if you get it to pen, will exchange, like when it transfers over to main server at the end of the season, will be a Tet dim tree, and then same thing with the gloves and so on and so forth. There'll be Tet bags, Tet Gaiath or Griffin, I can't remember which one it is, Tet Ergon boots, and then like so on and so forth. And then the accessories are literally just the base. Like if you have the full set of Tet accessories, I think Tet is the max you can go to on accessories, will exchange for Tri Crescent, Tri Bassy, Tri Ogre, and Tri Tungrad earrings.
Well, it's like I'm not the only one that had this kind of concern either. Like, I just put the link for the clip that I took from Choice's stream. They did a podcast and they were talking about this as well. But I think it was Huntler who was basically giving his concerns. He said the devil's in the details on this, because he's like, as an experienced player, as a veteran player, I'm going to look at ways to exploit this for my gain.
Right.
Which
100%
is fair.
Everyone is. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's just a reference to the comment.
But I do think I think he's right. I think I like what he said about the economy thing, where it's like these players will be playing anyway. I mean, worst case scenario, Crescents, Ogre, like those specific items kind of lose their value, but I don't think long term that matters that much, since there are other higher end versions of those items, you know?
Imagine like on the day that seasons transfer over, thousands of Tri-Crescents end up on the marketplace.
Right.
Like that's going to tank the market.
That might, but at the same time, if they go down, if they drop, right? Like let's say they tank the market on those Tri-accessories, then a bunch of rich players are going to buy them, go for Tet and pens, potentially sell them, put them on the market. So like long term might actually end up being a good thing in a weird way.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair assessment.
Frosty's like, anything to reduce the price of pens.
Please. I hope there's like 20 pen Crescents on the market when the season ends, please.
Yeah, because they're going to be like fucking expensive.
He adds, lastly, in an additional comment, also on the gains part, just think about how free the money is for making these enhanced armor accessory weapons. If you play it right, it's 100% worth. Yeah, I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be
it'll be good for for new players.
For new players,
I was more or less concerned about veterans.
And I think it'll be fun for veterans to play with new players. And also, I have like a group of friends that want to just start all new characters on there just for fun, just to like try it out. I think it'd be kind of cool. Talented Sniping says, Rezler's point about asking people for help is very true. My guild is decked with Aftershock. I'm a newer player and was dueling Aftershock member in BA yesterday. He was super chill, gave me some pointers, dropped his gear, definitely took it easy on me. Yeah, I noticed the same thing. Dude, actually, even people that talk shit, like if someone kills me and calls me some gamer words and says I suck or whatever, and I go like,
you accept it and you move on with your life?
I accept. No, but if I go like, hey, dude, I actually don't run into like let's just say it's a class I never see. I'll be like, hey, can you, or if you could, like, you down to go BA real quick? I actually like struggle so much with that class. Like 9 times out of 10, they actually will and end up being super nice.
Yeah.
I've had that happen. I actually had a DK calling me some gamer words one time, and I was like, dude, honestly, like, I haven't spent enough time in BA against Succession DK. Like, if you're down to go BA, and then we ended up in BA for like an hour and a half, and we're just talking, and now we're cool. Even though he was right, I am those gamer words. Noms Fatty Kitty says, Rez and Frost, ignore the haters. You guys make my grind better and appreciate everything you two trolls do. Dude, I don't have any haters, right? It's just Rezler.
Yeah.
He does. His haters, they're not that bad.
His haters aren't that bad.
Yeah, you have to.
He's a hater. He's a hater sympathizer.
Rezler's self-aware enough to know that, like, yeah, he's gonna get hate, but it's a trade-off for being like super rich and famous, you know?
Yeah, because I make so much money off of this podcast.
Dude,
it's like
I heard we have an ad now on the YouTube video.
We do? We have an ad?
Yeah, someone told me there was one ad. And it was like, dude, tell Rezlar you could put more than one ad. Dude, it's a 3-hour show. There doesn't need to be just one ad. You could put like 3 or 4.
This is news to me. Did you monetize the channel?
I was like, I'll tell him that after I tell him to give me a cut of the first ad.
Because I definitely have not monetized the channel, so...
Yeah, so I don't know how that works, but someone's seeing ads. I have YouTube Red, so I can't actually see. I don't get ads on YouTube videos.
I have ad block.
Wow, being such a fucking big man with the YouTube Red. I wish I had YouTube Red.
Well, I use Google Play Music for my music, and it comes with Red. It's like built in. You just get it also. So I don't use Spotify. By the way,
Nayashe, I know that podcast starts in 4 minutes, right? If you gotta go,
the PvP podcast.
Yeah, you can take off if you need to.
I wish Shaky didn't do it at 6 p.m., but that's what people voted on.
Sorry. All right, we'll roll through this. We're almost done. Astari says, just reroll the Guardian, people. It's the best class. Keck W, love the podcast as always. Thank you. Cameron Zukov says, Blackstar offhand, Awakening accessories win. Now that you guys have hit over 1,000 subs, how's it feel being eligible for YouTube's monetization program? It's great. I put in my 2-week notice at work.
Yeah, right.
Hopefully soon, dude.
All like 5 pennies you'll get.
Real quick though, I am actually curious. I don't think I would ever want to monetize the channel, mostly for copyright infringement reasons, because I don't want to be fucked with having to find copyright-free music for like different things.
You still get hit, I think.
Yeah,
I still get hit on my videos.
You don't get strikes though, is the thing.
I don't get strikes at all. What are you talking about?
But if you have your shit monetized, you can get strikes if you get too many copyright infringements. But I don't think that happens if you don't have your shit monetized.
You get a bunch of warnings. I've gotten shitloads of warnings.
But anyway, what I was gonna ask is, someone the other day asked Frosty if there was a place that he could like donate to the podcast. I was wondering if we did decide to like set up a Patreon, what kind of rewards would people want to see on there? Because I don't know how much there is that we could do. So if we did end up setting something up, what are some like rewards that we could give you guys for donating us that you guys would like to see on there? Out of curiosity, comment down below what you would like to see.
A night out with Rezlar.
Probably not gonna happen.
It's like, this user donated $5. It's like, and then Rezlar buys a plane ticket and flies out to hang out with them for a day.
And they're not there.
They don't even show up, dude. They baited him.
They just bait you out.
Hell yeah. Toxic. Cameron Zukov says, Blackstar offhand. Oh wait, I said this already. WoW seriously says, change this damn intro, please. You mentioned it last episode. We will not forget. Love the podcast.
So my plan was, let me go ahead and explain my plan. My plan was actually probably to change the intro and the outro song whenever Frosty's new album dropped.
Yeah,
that was going to be. We were going to pick 2 songs off the new album, and then that was going to be the new intro song and outro song. And I was, of course, going to redo the intro whenever we did that. That was my plan.
Yeah, we're gonna have one of our new songs is gonna be finished, which I think will be a decent intro or outro song. I'll send it to you once it's done in the next like 3 to 4 weeks, and then every like 2 to 4 weeks after that, another song will be done. So should be pretty soon.
Okay, cool.
So we're coming up on it. And yeah, there's no triple CC from the Mystic anymore, dude. That skill don't do shit anymore.
Is that a triple stun from the Mystic?
Wait, who was it that said? Was it Vibes?
Good Vibes guy. Yeah,
Dr.
Good Vibes
Positive
guy.
should have said no. Is a stiffin. The awkward.
Did you see in Spiro's latest video? He took the clip from when I helped Dr. Positive with the BSL, and Spiro entered the tournament under the name Blindu. And he took the clip of me saying, "I'm still not 1,000% sure that that's not Spiro."
Yeah, dude. By the way, that was
bastard.
That was a cool video that Spiro did. If you guys haven't seen it, that highlight video is so
good. That was awesome, dude.
Yeah, he did it.
That CC that he opened the video with was like, oh my god.
Yeah, Warrior looks so fucking fun in the right hands. The Awkward Ninja says, dude, I fucking died when Frosty asked Rylock what his bar for garbage was, and he said it was a warrior. I don't know how good our quote, I don't know how good our PvE is, but it feels worse than warrior, so it is bad, end quote. I would love to see some actual numbers from standardized gear spots. As far as I know, Ranger was like number 2 with warrior pre-nerf. Hearing them complain to me is like hearing billionaires complain about taxes. Sure, they took you down a lot more than me, but you're still doing pretty good for yourself. Sure, you aren't Bill Gates, but 1 billion is still a lot. Note for Frosty, Ranger Awakening Dash gives you 10 DR. Probably should be evasion because 10 DR ain't saving you. Yeah, it probably should be like 20 DR and 10% evasion, to be honest.
Right.
Also, didn't realize that KR players played like a bunch of toxic babies, but then again, I've seen Zerkers from KR play, and that is a bit Monka-esque. But I did know that open world is way more lit on KR. For Reslar, Tamer Zerker matchup sucks for Zerker because the dog CCs you out of the long-ass grab animations. Edit, keep adding things as I go. I do want to comment on this. Yes, that is exactly how I feel about Rangers. Their PvE is still top 5. Like legit, still top 5, like basically everywhere. But because for whatever reason, and Rylock's not the only one who's done this, every Ranger compares himself to Warrior. It's like the weirdest fucking thing. It like always bugged me too about Mystic back in the day when everyone's like, well, Mystic's getting this much. And it's like, yeah, we've established Mystic is broken. Let's compare yourself to the average of everyone else. Like, we know Mystic is too high. Like, that's not the bar. Yeah, Warrior Suck is like, that is kind of, it's like, well, we were getting the same as Warrior Suck, and then we got nerfed, and Warrior Suck's still getting that. That's not fair. And it's like, yeah, I know. But then, like, Awakened Ninja is still getting 3,200 in Histria, you know? So, yeah.
Nayashe, you gotta get out of here, brother.
Yeah,
all right.
you gotta
all right, we'll finish up the comments without you, man.
Guys.
Yeah, thanks. This is awkward, dude. We've never had a non-guest guest leave, you know?
Yeah, first time, dude. Now it's just the two of us.
Leaving us for, well,
dude, this is like Value Pack Classic mode right now. Just Rizlar and Frosty.
Dude, imagine being the only Maywa on the server, so you just get to do every podcast because everyone needs a Maywa.
Damn, dude, he's not even here to defend the class now. You're doing that.
Dude, I was gonna point out also his point on the Zerkers from KR. It's funny because like I'll still watch KR Zerkers every once in a while, and there's like one KR Zerker that plays in succession that I think is really good. But every other Zerker I see in KR, they're all just on Doom horses. Fucking every one of them.
On Doom horses?
Yeah, they're just slaughtering people on Doom horses, and I'm like, this is terrible.
Why? I don't understand.
Dude, because Doom horse is busted. I don't know.
Is Zerker like Tamer, like, or Ranger, where it has like some like really OP horse skill that I don't know about?
No, I think maybe it might be. Maybe they can use something on there. I don't even know. Fired Up Wings, he has a whole long thing about DK, which I read through personally, but he added a TLDR that says DKs overreact to everything and like to complain, and it was partly justified, even though she never was super bad. Suck addressed a lot of issues, and implementing small adjustments to the Awakening kit can make her a lot more viable as well.
The only time I would say that the DK whining was 100% justified was when it was whining about the matchup against Striker and Mystic.
Right.
Because there was actually just nothing DK could do about that. But like every other time that DKs are like, oh, our class is dead, we're useless, like what a bad class. It's just not true, man. It's just not. Now, like, are there a lot of is DK maybe on the weaker side of things? Yeah, sure. But like at the end of the day, like fucking what's his name? My name is Q is still out there shrekking kids. So until that guy is not able to get kills, you cannot tell me that it's impossible to do well with your class.
I also think part of it is a mindset. Like a lot when DK came out, everyone had tri-boss gear. So Seed and Scattering Darkness or Shattering Darkness like deleted people. And like those aren't really meant to be nukes. It's just no one had gear. So those like super far ranged abilities now are just like pokes more than anything. And they're like, oh, we do no damage. But their melee skills still hit hard as fuck.
Right.
So yeah. Loop Pick says, thanks for doing something with audio on the previous video and this one. I dislike compressors less than being deaf, so thank you. Keep up the good work. Yeah, this last one, this one and the one before, I put a compression that's like really subtle, but also like gates at the high end, so should be good. The Spoon Elite says,
Hopefully.
Reslar Gate is Gamergate, but with anti-Reslar propaganda. This week felt a lot better. Not sure if it was just that Reslar was paying more attention. His league match ended, dude.
Yeah.
not Geraro says at 1:11:04, people that destroy me usually get bored and leave after like 5 matches. That's called griefing. You're griefing them.
Yeah, right.
You're a karma bombing son of a bitch. That's what you are, dude. The name is Jay, says Ranger Pepe Hands QQ. True. Queso81, LOL at all, LOL at all the DK comments. Quiet DKs, cough. Queso81 says, as Ranger main to counter Reslar's remarks and having fought critical plenty of times, you can't judge the current status of the class based on one player's ability. For him to win with 220 AP, for example, the amount of CC he has to execute in a chain and win, he needs to pull off so many combos, whereas dying to 220 AP on Meiwa from one bloom, I don't see how that justifies balance for the class. Sure, getting good can justify your ability to win, but in my opinion, Ranger has to get godly in comparison to how easy it is for other classes to shift F LMB for the win. Kudo to Rylock giving creds to Senpai, LOL, true Rangers only know.
What imaginary classes are just like at 2 fucking like 40 AP actually just one skilling everybody?
Meiwa.
Yeah?
Yeah, dude.
Like seriously, like even like Sorks aren't like literally one skilling people at low APs. But like
or Ninja or yeah. No,
but
I
like
don't know.
when it comes time for like this like a person's class to like talk about their burst potential, all of a sudden everybody can do it except for them. It's like I don't understand it. Also, you misunderstood the whole reason I brought up critical. The whole reason I brought up critical is like again, the same thing with the My Name is Q example. There are people out there that are killing it with these classes, that are able to do well with these classes. So the argument of, well, the reason I'm losing this fight is because my class is just bad. It's not true. Now, if you want to say there are some issues with my class, that's fine. As long as you approach it rationally and not from a place of like anger or jealousy or anything else. But this idea of like, my class is dead, I can't do anything because I play a bad class that just can't win. It's literally just not true. Right. And that's the reason that I bring up people like Critical and My Name is Q. Because people who say that annoy the shit out of me. It's not true. There's a reason in our tier list no classes get placed in F tier. That's on purpose. There are no classes that are actually incapable of playing this game. Like, it's just such horse shit, and it annoys the fuck out of me.
Yeah. And also, Resler didn't say the class isn't like, or Resler didn't say the class was balanced. He was just saying that, like, sure, it can use some tweaks, but there's also ranges that are making it look really good. So there's potential there. The ceiling is not, you haven't hit the cap. Kalekos, the Spellweaver, says, I disagree with this because we're talking about class balance. This is in reply to Queso's comment on the Ranger. I disagree because we're talking about class balance. I don't see any better way to balance a class other than having a player who won't make a mistake at the helm, hence the class capability is highlighted. I mean, if we put an average player at the helm and he fucks up and dies, then is the class really the one at fault? Again, we're talking about class balance, i.e. the skill set of this particular character, i.e. what this character can do. And that's true too, right? Like, you can't base everything off of the high end, but the high end is like kind of the example of like what you can learn from. I mean,
well, this goes to like League has always had this issue of like, do we balance around the pro players or do we balance around the average player in like gold or some shit? Like it's just a question. Like, and there's no right or wrong answer. Like, there's pros and cons to both. But I mean, yeah, it's hard to figure that out personally.
Sonic Cam says, or Com says, funny how you compare DK complaining to Shy. I guess you can compare DK to a non-PvP class that only provides support or acts as a CC bot. To be fair, DK doesn't have anything to complain about after Suck, but most complaints were when Mystic and Striker was Flavor of the Month class. A soft cap Mystic was able to beat DK with higher gear score, and even a skilled DK couldn't kill Mystic because of busted magic DP. Couldn't combo even after multiple catches, which was already hard with DK Awakening skills back then. In my opinion, DK complaints were fully valid at the time. While other classes in large scale had niche like Witch Wiz, Heals or PA, Tamer, Zerker Alts, Sork Ball, and Shy's Bubble, DK at the meta had no role and damage, so I saw a lot of my friends reroll off DK or quit. In that meta, if a PvP guild had a choice, they would take a Shy over a DK any day.
Right, yeah. I mean, I said this earlier, right? Is that, like, in those days, those complaints were absolutely justified. The issue is, it's not those days anymore, but DK still act like it is.
Yeah, it's not those days anymore, and everyone has, I don't know, just I can't remember the last time I ran into a DK that doesn't blow me up no matter what class I play. So yeah, I mean,
right.
Yeah, point taken though. They complained more back in the day, but they still complain. Like, you still hear them complain about gaps and stuff. And like, I don't know, maybe the Nocturne thing in Succession needs to come to Awakening and it would make a huge difference. But outside of that, I think Awakening is like pretty okay. Will Motto says, thanks for calling out DK on this podcast. It's so funny that it's like back and forth each fucking
I know,
comment.
right?
Thanks for calling out DK on this podcast. LOL, we fought some gear DK on Node War, and I can tell you they're not weak like they're saying. They have iframes, protected CCs, and it seems like they have no opening versus them comparing to other classes. They are a hidden OP class at the moment that some people are starting to reroll to them while they are yelling on how bad they are. The other thing with them is I think that if I were to change anything on DK, I think I've said this before, but I would make them, again, while upright, not CC'd, I would make them slightly more durable because they are pretty melee, like their damage is melee. So maybe make it a little easier for them to not just die instantly. But
yeah, from like chip damage.
Right, but they have a very glass in Succession. I almost think like it's okay because they do so much damage that it's scary to trade with them, even if you think that their squishing can kill them, because they do so much damage to you. So it's kind of they're like assassin in like the fullest sense, like a glass cannon assassin with the way they're set up right now. Now, you get hit by a DK right now, dude. Oh my god. Like Succession DK, that is. It's crazy.
Right.
Not Geraro replies to that guy and says, learn the matchup, dude. They're full of openings. Laxton says, LOL, DK got protected CC in pre-awakening in close range, and those animations slow, full of gaps, which you can't use them in Node War Siege without die ASAP. DK Node War Siege literally try to CC people with seed and your teammates fucks them up afterwards. See, this is the thing, is like, that's why I say like maybe they need to be a little bit less squishy, but they're not. Also, the full of gaps is an exaggeration. The animations are slow, but they do a lot of damage, and they're protected CCs. I mean, some classes don't even have that.
Yeah.
The Seed stiffens are good, dude. You guys kill Steel all the time with Seed. And then Toys FX says first. And that's it.
Was that the first comment?
It was the first comment. So the last or just a reminder, we are now on Spotify, so you can search the Value Pack Podcast. Just about every episode is up there, unless we missed an episode or I did or whatever. I'm gonna just leave it as is, but every new episode will go up there every single week when the video is posted. Sometimes a little bit sooner. I'll try to put it up as early as I can, and then hopefully iTunes as well. I still haven't heard back from Apple. They have a super long process for putting up podcasts for some reason, so just waiting on that. And then yeah, we'll be good to go. So subscribe on Spotify, subscribe on iTunes. Once that's up, I'll make an announcement in the Discord. Make sure you follow or join the Discord. Make sure you follow me on. I'm going to start streaming.
You keep saying that. I'm waiting for it to happen.
I am going to start streaming. Twitch.tv/SoFrosty. Nayashe's stream also. He is. Do you know his stream off the top of your head? Twitch.tv/
Twitch Nayashe_NA.
Yep. And then make sure you share the video, the YouTube video, upvote it, like it on Reddit, this, that, share it with your Discords, all that stuff in game. We'll look into the Patreon thing. Make sure you let us know what you guys think we could do to kind of set up a Patreon and have it be rewarding for you guys as well. And
and to be clear, we're not announcing a Patreon. We're saying that if we did, what would you guys want to see on there? Because I'm only going to set it up if people are actually interested in that sort of thing, and if they have rewards that we can actually do. That's the wall that I'm kind of running into with that whole idea.
We also get a PO box and you just mail us cash. Fuck it.
We'll have to get 3 different ones. One in Texas, one in Florida, and one in California, so everybody gets their fair share.
Yeah. Exactly. Cool. That's the podcast. Thanks for listening. Anything closing thoughts, Rez?
No, that'll be it. Make sure you join the Discord. Now that 6 sessions are out on all the characters, they're gonna put them on trials, and so we might be doing more tournaments and stuff. We're gonna pick back up on community events at some point. I promise. I have it in the back of my head. It's just I need to actually do it. So make sure you join the Discord to get all of that information whenever that shit is going down. And other than that, we will catch you all next week.